Еще раз спасибо, Агу. Ну что, комментировал? Да, на связи.
Да. И тебе удачи с комментированием, потому что Super Mario Odyssey начинается уже. Да.
Да.
Последние хлопки от меня. Всем удачи.
And $25 from Waffle Power, who just says smiley face. So we've got something really cool coming up here now.
Я довольный. Dangers
Odyssey by Dangers.
покажет нам рандомайзер, который привез с ГДК.
What's going on, everybody? My name is Dangers.
Наверное, единственный предикшн, который я сделаю. Или сделать кто-нибудь. Я могу сам закрыть. Сможет ли он побить рекорд, который поставил свой же на ГДК? Надо только посмотреть, какое у него время.
I also speedrun Super Mario Odyssey. I've been doing it for a while, and I also do some like other 3D Mario games like 3D World and Bowser's Fury.
Hi, I'm Timpani. I also speedrun Super Mario Odyssey. Done quite a bit of
Talk2, and
basically at this point run basically every 3D Mario. So pleasure to be here.
Не, на ГДК не было VR.
Experienced 3D Mario runners in our own rights, and today we've got quite the show for you. So, without further ado, I'm just going to go ahead and start, and we can kind of explain what Talk2% is as we get into it, I think.
Вот так что.
So let's get right into it. 3,
Feel free
2, 1,
поугадать.
start. So any percent for Super Mario Odyssey is pretty standard. Go through all the kingdoms, start to finish, collect as like minimal amount of moons as you possibly can in order to progress through the kingdoms. However, you know, once you've done that a couple times, you've done that enough times, you kind of, you know, it's the same every time, right? So the idea of randomizers is a pretty common thing in speedrunning, which, you know, usually requires some sort of mod from the outside. But luckily for us, on Super Mario Odyssey, this game has a sort of built-in randomizer in its own right. Maybe somebody can explain what I mean.
Sure. So Super Mario Odyssey actually has two hint systems in each kingdom. You'll have a blue toad that you can pay to show you where moons are on your map. But the other hint system is a bird called Talk2, and Talk2 will basically give you a random moon. He'll just give you the name, and then he'll expect you to go off and find it. So as a runner, obviously, with our knowledge, we do know most of the moon names by default, and essentially what that means is все для моего рана готово. Итак,
Марио Одиссея, сколько у меня времени? Я еще и отстаю на 5 секунд. Я не знаю почему. На рестриме идет стрим быстрее, чем у меня. Хотя я теоретически ближе к Европе, чем запускается стрим из Санкт-Петербурга, я так понимаю, или МСК даже. Так что я отстаю где-то на 5-6 секунд. Чего я с этим сделать вообще не могу, то есть у меня запускается так в LC. Хотя, может быть, я могу запустить официальный стрим быстрее, будет, что попробуем. Посмотрим, какое там время покажет. О, я тут чуть-чуть быстрее буду. Офигеть. Быстрее, чем с LC. Ладно, отсюда покомментируем. Ну, что-то такое вести.
And kind of improvising all the way through this entire game as we collect moons. The total amount of moons we need to get for the entire course of the game is 124, but it's not really as simple as just getting 124 to progress to the end of the game. Each kingdom will have a set amount that we need in order to progress, and those are going to be defined by the hollowed-out circles that you see in the top left corner of the screen. So we basically just need to collect enough moons from Talk2 and story moons to progress to the next kingdom until we
себя содержит такой вот такой-то спидран, где мы разговариваем с Talk2 или с Туканом, по-моему, или попугаем. По-моему, попугаем все-таки. Вот. И
quick note to mention,
despite the fact
that Talk2 does exist in this kingdom, he will not show up until after we beat the boss. So you can think of this kingdom like a little bit of a tutorial for it, because the first 4 moons you're going to collect out of the 5 are predetermined. So
да, и то, что он нам скажет, то мы должны будем сделать. Своего рода рандомайзер в игре Одиссея. Одна из причин, по которой мне очень захотелось даже пройти Одиссея, потому что в этой категории есть возможность увидеть случайную абсолютно луну, а их очень много. Дэнджер это опять не везет. На ГДК у него то же самое было. Сейчас сможет он, интересно, залезть? Со второго раза. Давай. Ой, хорош. Справился. И здесь самая сложная часть будет. Нет! Нет!
Oh no, I bombed.
Да, пойдет казуально уже все.
Yeah,
Это
getting
тоже
the
на
buffer
ГДК было
height
не
and,
так
like, getting that
уморно,
wall
но
jump's kinda tricky, but
ладно.
basically what you can do is you can instead just climb that rock wall. It's what we call Dino Skip Skip.
Нормально, нормально.
Which is
Он справится, он сильный спидранер, у него есть хорошие рекорды и в N%, и в 100% ранее. У него очень хорошее знание звезд, то, где они располагаются, как лучше до них добраться. В общем, своего рода гений. Прекрасной игры. Вот, давайте объясню немножко, как этот файт работает. Наша задача забайтить вот так вот чампа, бросаем шляпу заранее, и после того, как мы сбиваем шляпу, мы притягиваем шляпу Тёмпа, мы притягиваем шляпу, которую бросили заранее. Вот, это намного быстрее, чем просто бросать шляпу. Вот, с каждого босса падают по 3 луны историй, и это не хардкор толкоту, есть еще хардкор толкоту. Что в себя включает хардкор? Хардкор в себя включает то, что мы не считаем луны, которые идут по истории. То есть сейчас мы получили 3 луны, они идут в счет нашего спидрана. А там не будет, не пошли бы. Вот, лун как бы на каждом мире очень много. И еще, если даже Danger случайно подберет луну, такое может случиться, но обычно такое не происходит, которую не сказал нам вот этот вот прекрасный господин в шляпке. Мы, соответственно, должны будем просто посчитать, что как бы мы подняли на одну луну лишнюю.
Yes, it is the regular one, I believe.
Okay. I said if I was gonna get this moon, I was gonna do it anyways, just because there's kind of a cool jump you can do in here. Hopefully I'm not just gonna...
Так, крутой прыжок нам показывает. И скипает всю 2D-секцию. Красавчик. Сильный парень.
Very nice.
So, just a cool little trick jump you can do to kind of bypass most of this sub-area. Super fun, super swaggy little jump. This is obviously, out of the moons that I got kind of a crappy pool of moons. Like, there wasn't a whole lot that were really good for me. So, I would have been slow no matter which one I picked. But just the fact that this moon is kind of fun to get, I just decided that we're gonna go for this one.
Так, он просто посчитал, что ему будет весело показать эту луну, и решил ее показать. Соответственно, даже если она не очень быстрая, все равно мы решили ее показать. Она по истории нам нужна была. Этого было достаточно.
You know, you think about how many moons you need to collect in a run. The story moons can only really take you so far to kind of maintain your consistency. All the rest are given to you by the bird. So, you know, we're at...
Какая последняя игра будет? Там будете алынить, если не проспите. Так-то это последний день, так что если для вас это последний ран, то ладно, алынь. Хорошо. Но я никогда не рекомендую алын, потому что потом будет грустно ничего не ставить. Итак, первый мир мы прошли. Двигаемся во второй.
But with this being as fun of a run as it is and as random of a run as it is, it's just kind of just fun to just see what you get and work with it and hope for the best. You'll also notice that, you know, this is a speedrun marathon, so we're probably not too shy of the concept of like playing in different languages and stuff. If it isn't already apparently abundantly obvious, we're playing in English because that is the language that I can read. This game would be a lot faster if we played it in Chinese, though, and that's just to do with...
Мы решили сейчас запустить игру на английском, потому что хотим читать, что написано. Что ж, желание спидранера, что ты скажешь?
I was going to say, if you wanted to get good at talkative and could speak Chinese, you could definitely have an advantage.
Yeah, just learn Chinese.
А так вообще играем на китайском.
Yep.
Так что учить китайский, спидран на китайском быстро. Собираем фиолетовые монетки, они помечены 12-100. Если правильно помню, это относятся они к покупке в специальном магазине костюма. Немножко разгон не удался. Сейчас попробуем еще раз. Это не то. Застрял немножко. Хорошо, похоже. Также очень заметно, как он поворачивает Марио. Если вы поворачиваете Марио в лету, диагонально, то он быстрее двигается.
And that's what we call vectoring. And anytime you see me hanging in the air for like an extended period of time, or if you see me do a triple jump or like a really long jump over a gap, you're going to see me kind of curving through the air. I also didn't collect the checkpoint in town. That was not very smart of me, but that's okay. So you're gonna notice a bit of a pattern here. You're gonna notice a lot of like reoccurring themes as we kind of go through these kingdoms. You're gonna notice that I'm gonna be trying to grab as many checkpoints as I can.
Чекпоинты важно собирать для того, чтобы быстрее перемещаться по королевству. Поскольку мы не знаем, какую луну закажет нам попугай, будем надеяться, что он будет нам благосклонен. Соответственно, вот те самые монетки мы потратим на костюм. Костюмы в этой игре нужны для того, чтобы посещать локации разные. Но я вам не скажу, где конкретно это что нужно. Нам нужно вот для этой луны. Окей, хорошо. Иначе мы не можем пройти. Самое время запустить танцующие эмоты, кэджента, что-нибудь такое.
That's right. It's very good.
Отличная луна, лучше получается, музыкальная.
Let's go. Mario's a very good dancer.
Let's play the guitar if you want to.
Seems it. Mario's very talented. Mario's had like what 100 different occupations.
Марио очень талантливый человек. Он
yeah, it seems so.
Играет на гитаре.
Okay.
Что он там еще? Доктор отличный.
Yeah, honestly. Because we do have
Наверное, самое худшее, что он делает, это прочищать трубы, потому что их не надо чистить ни в одной игре.
But it is kind of cool to show off this little bit. The seed moons, if you've ever played Odyssey, they work in a way that basically, like, if you plant it in a pot, it's going to take 20 real-time minutes to grow, which is a really long time. And typically, you wouldn't really want to see that in your speedrun because then that just kind of leaves you waiting 20 minutes. However, we very thankfully have a way around that. It turns out that this game operates on the switch clock instead of just like the
Благо, эта
actual
игра
like the game doesn't have a clock going or anything like that.
считает время через консоль Switch, они подсоединяются к интернету и считают время. В принципе, не страшно, да? То есть... еще он мог бы считать время in-game, что-нибудь такое. Вот. Есть тут некоторые вещи, которые нужно делать таким образом, что проходит время. Допустим, посадить семечки там, еще что-нибудь, чтобы выросло растение. Так что... Просто проматываем время на свече и изи.
And then coming back, going back to like the earliest point you can set it, then the seed would just never grow in your game until you like progress forwards. Has anybody tried that? Has anybody like turned their switch clock to like the most distant future that the switch lets you and plant a seed and see what happens? I'd be kind of curious.
No,
like, would it just never grow? Or would it actually advance a day?
I don't know.
Очень близко к углу. К углу какому? Какому углу? Пропасти. Но мы справились. Немножко заносит нас на этом персонаже. Я еще чисто кайфую. То, что тут сложно что-то рассказывать, если... Вот, кстати, мы собираем семечку. Она нам понадобится сейчас вырастить растение. Видимо, как раз он заранее рассказывал о том, что нам понадобится время перекрутить на свече.
So sometimes you might want to hold on to a moon to hope that you get the other one as well. Otherwise, you end up going in there twice. Hopefully, that won't happen because Sand has quite a lot of moons, but you know, RNG.
Yeah, we'll see. Hidden room and inverted pyramid. Okay, we're going in there.
Okay.
That is the one at the end, though.
Курица-попугай.
Yes.
Да,
So
попугай говорит. Мы делаем. Easy speedrun.
So yeah, we're just gonna progress a month forward, and then get out of there. We're gonna go collect some of the moons that Talkatoo gave us, and when we come back,
те, которые продвигают истории, не так обязательны. То есть их имеет смысл собирать, если плохо выпал Talkatoo, либо там, где это нужно.
But Talkatoo just gave us a story, or not a story moon, but like one of the moons that's in the inverted pyramid, which is kind of like involved in the story. So I have to make kind of a tricky decision now. Like, do I continue the story from this point forward so that we can get that moon out of the way and then we can open Talkatoo up again for my third slot? Or do we kind of just like leave it for the end and maybe do the boss fight as well as that moon when we get to the end instead? We'll have to kind of play it by ear. So, you know, the thing that Timpani
Не очень удачная луна появилась.
So that just happened.
I'm sorry, but you didn't get,
которую нужно собрать.
Which is good.
It's very good, yeah.
Только если ты двигаешься к боссу.
We're talking about doing preemptive things to set ourselves up, like checkpoints and purple
В принципе, мы к
coins.
боссу пока еще не собирались.
Another good one to do is to collect coins, and because coins can buy you shot moons, and you might get shot moons and stuff. But also, on top of that, we're also going to be potentially facing some problems with wood.
Немножко загадок от сфинкса.
It happened in the last run that I did for GDQ, so it could very well happen again.
Плюс баблишка. Нам может очень пригодиться золото в следующем мире, но посмотрим, как пойдет.
I think I also had to do this sub-area twice in my GDQ run as well, so Talkatoo's just like, you know, you get the same show twice, here you go.
Talkatoo дает примерно такой же рандом, как и на ГДК. Так что вот тебе шоу-кейс, покажешь одинаковый спидран и на ГДК, и на ЕС. Отличный рандом от попугая.
Do we have a second for a couple of donations?
Absolutely, go for it.
Thank you very much indeed. Okay, we have received $50 from Slayer Moon. Unfortunately, ESA is almost over. Here is my donation to a fantastic event, an awesome community, and a great cause. Well, remember, all of your donations are going towards Save the Children. Thank you so much indeed. Also, $25 from Cat Silverburn. Thanks for all the great runs and fantastic work you're all doing. Keep it up. Well, thank you, folks. Please keep those donations coming in. Remember, we're trying to reach 60,000 total raised for Save the Children, which will also give us an extra Resident Evil Village bonus run. Thank you very much again.
Ooh, that's a good combo.
Говорит, хорошо комбо выпало, окей, посмотрим.
I should have used the other checkpoint, but...
That is a good combo, though.
You know what? I think I'm just gonna run with this combo all the way through to the inverted pyramid.
И, похоже, мы не возвращаемся к Talkatoo на данный момент. Соберем сейчас комбо.
And then we're gonna get this moon here. This is inside a rock is a hard place, which are some English words in a combination. And then the treasure of Jaxi Ruins, which we actually kind of revealed earlier, but again,
Теперь на этот раз еще эту луну будет собрать, окей. И сразу же будем двигаться к боссу. В пирамиду у нас там есть как раз одна дополнительная луна.
Directly to the inverted pyramid. We have one moon in there. And I'm going to attempt a trick here. This is what we call the inverted pyramid skip. Maybe one of you guys can explain it a little bit better.
Так, нам нужно подготовить скип. Будем залезать в пирамиду. Это что-то вроде бы ОБ. Небольшое.
Areas you'll go through to progress the story, and normally you have to actually go through the pyramid itself.
Но этого стоит в любом случае пробовать несколько раз, потому что это быстрее, чем ходить. Будем надеяться, что он со второго раза уже точно легко справится.
And use some very specific, like, out-of-bounds
точные передвижения.
locations to sort of
Мне кажется, не такие
ground
точные, как в
pound
Зельдах
up
каких-нибудь,
and
где там надо
reach the very top of the pyramid. But
поинтером
like I said, it's
линком выбирать,
very
что нужно.
difficult, so
If I don't get
hopefully
it, there
beginners can
is.
get it here.
If I don't get it, there is another thing I can
Нам
do.
нужно
But
попасть в оба.
yeah, this is a really precise clip.
Похоже было почти.
You can see the Cappy went through that time, but Mario kind of got left behind. Because I got to line up Mario just right. And the camera's
Еще
gotta
камера
work
нам
with
нужно
me a
немножко
little
помочь,
bit
но она
as
пока
well.
что мешает скорее. Нужен правильный угол, чтобы шляпа залетела,
And again, if
и
we
мы
can't get it,
сами...
then I'll just
Sombrero.
clip into the inverted pyramid. That also is kind of like
Окей.
a neat thing to show off anyway, so...
Не
Yeah, I'm not
получается.
getting quite the right angle. There it
Эй,
is. Oh, and then I ground pounded
пролетел
through.
сквозь.
Okay. We'll just go through.
Unlucky.
That's unfortunate. It
Yeah.
is very hard. It is a very hard trick.
So we'll just...
И, в
you can see the
принципе,
Cappy says,
тогда
"Oh, you
здесь в
can't
оба
brute
пройдем.
force this."
Что поделать?
Turns out that I
Не
can.
знаю, как это
Sure.
визуально открывается, но что есть.
This actually also is it's easier, but it's still tough to get that clip as well very quickly.
Yeah, the thing with this
Yep.
game, and as I've been like kind of watching some newer players run it, there's a lot of things that you can do with Mario and Cappy specifically, like combinations of things. So there's a lot of inputs, and a lot of different inputs do different things in different orders. And so getting kind of a handle on how to use those inputs effectively is a very difficult thing to
Говорит
do.
Джейнджер,
Takes a lot of,
что
like, game knowledge to do.
очень много
And so the thing that I did
практики
there
нужно,
is called a roll
чтобы
cancel clip, and you
успешно
basically
играть в эту игру.
are using a roll, then a cancel of that roll immediately
О, я
afterwards
вспомнил, он же
to,
заходил сюда.
just kind of scoot through the wall. And there are a
Ха, и
couple
он
of
эту же
places that
луну
you can do it
собирал,
in the game.
лол. Да ГТК он тоже эту же луну
You know,
собрал.
we might see some, we might not. We'll just kind of
Ай,
have to
жесть.
see. We'll just have to hope for the best with Talkatu, I guess.
The good thing is you're ready for that coin coffer.
Absolutely, yeah. More than ready, actually. So yeah, we're going through the pyramid the regular way, but with the inverted pyramid skip,
Как бы, если бы он
we
смог
could
сделать
have
скип,
just
он
kind of
смог
skipped
бы
through this,
залезть на
and all
крышу
of
сейчас
that
сразу
interior portion would
и
have just
зайти
been kind of skipped.
с конца.
So that trick is pretty cool, but a little bit out of practice on it, I won't lie.
Немножко недопрактикован, как говорит
So we'll just
Dangerous,
have to do the
но
other way.
он абсолютно
And
прав.
now, the cool
Но
thing
дело в
about
том, что
fighting
он,
Harriet
насколько я
is
знаю, на
that
стримах сейчас
he's gonna
играет в
give us
основном
3 moons. She's gonna give us a
Луиджи
multi-moon when we're
Galaxy,
done,
что-то
so when we're
такое.
done this, we'll only need 2 more.
По-моему, в Луиджи он играет, да.
And
Вот.
the other cool thing
И
about
еще
breaking
во
a
что-то.
sequence
А,
like
ну,
this,
Fall
you're not
Guys он
supposed to
еще
be in this
играет
pyramid
тогда.
yet if you couldn't tell by the
Вот.
locked door. And
Я,
you can't
в принципе,
brute force this, and then we did.
зафавился, думал, что он еще
We're
будет
not supposed to be
спидранить.
here
Но
yet.
он
There
либо
are a couple
выгорел,
other
либо
story
устал
moons
от
along the way that we
Одиссеи,
just kinda
поэтому он
bypassed and didn't do at all. So
пробежался
we can go
по
back and get
саб-категориям,
those
то есть
if we
этот
want.
спидран не
And
находится в
if we get them
основных
later, we actually
категориях,
skip
это
the cutscenes
саб-категория,
associated with them as well. So it's
категории
faster to do it
extensions,
in
так
that order.
сказать,
And the same is true for another
знаменитые.
kingdom later on in the run as well. So, you know, it's just kind of like
Так что у
breaking the
него,
game to our own
наверное,
benefit, of
пару
course, as always.
ранов всего перед этим раном было, он чуть, может быть, подготовился, и все.
But we will be
Так что даже при том, что у него очень хорошие результаты, он все еще, у него не получается делать все так же четко, отчетливо, как раньше. Потому что нужно очень много времени. Постоянно играть. Не хватит даже... Я думаю, за неделю, может быть, он задерастит более-менее в то же состояние. Но тут надо очень много двигаться, управлять Марио.
Including $100 anonymous donation without any comment. But thank you so much again. Please, folks, keep the donations coming in.
So, we actually got a pretty nice little collection of moons right for the end. That's great. The other cool thing about having left the story for the end is now we have this wire that takes us right up to the
Благодаря
top
тому,
of
что мы
this
прошли
tower. So, we didn't
луну по
really
истории,
need
мы
to climb
можем
the tower in the intended way.
просто
We didn't need to go through the 2D
прокатиться
portion of the
здесь.
tower at all to get this moon. It's basically just sitting here for free
Бесплатная
now,
луна.
so we can just collect it.
Но это луна по
with
истории.
our way. So,
И это последняя,
that
которая нам
was the
нужна.
last one we needed. We've got all of our hollowed out circles. It
Появятся
will make these
платформы, но
platforms
они нам
appear,
не
but then
нужны,
there's
а мы
usually like
пойдем
a story-related cutscene that
домой.
follows that.
На
We just
базу.
skip that right away. So.
You didn't go near the floor, so I didn't get to flex my knowledge of obscure Mario enemy names.
Mario, where are you going? I tried to take a sip of coffee. There we go.
As I say, in Night Sand, not only is it just darker, also you'll get mummy-like enemies spawning out of the ground called chinchos. We didn't get to see any because Dangers basically didn't really go into sand much. But yeah, it's a bit more dangerous. Typically in speedruns, you want to get out of Night Sand as soon as possible as a result, because it just makes unnecessary obstacles.
Имитатор нам повествует о том, что когда наступает ночь, играть становится сложнее. Мы не очень хотим играть ночью.
But you know, sometimes desperate times call for desperate measures. So, but we had a fork in the road there. I don't know if you noticed, Timpani. Maybe you can explain why I picked wooded.
Yeah, I can. There are a few little niche instances where it's better to go to wooded first in Talkatu. Some certain moons, if we were to have to go to another kingdom in the worst case scenario, it's a lot easier because of the way warp paintings in this game line up.
Итак, в этой части карты почти ни в одном спидране мы не бываем, не считая стопроцентным, наверное, потому что здесь на окраине сидит попугай, который скажет нам, куда нам идти дальше. Будем надеяться, что он пощадит нас, и нам не придется спускаться в нижний уровень этой карты. Но посмотрим.
Yeah, exactly. Like if you do have to do the hint art moon, you're probably pretty down bad, to be honest. But that being said, it's kind of nice to have the option because the alternative is using the Odyssey to get up back to the kingdom that you were from. So you don't really want to do that. That would be way worse because then you have to put all your moons in the Odyssey. You have to wait for it to fire up. You have to get in it. You have to choose the kingdom. Then you have to go there. So it's not something.
Немножко разговоров про разные луны. Это вряд ли нам понадобится как простым зрителям. Немножко неправильное движение спидранера, но ладно, не страшно.
That was he was doing something, that's for sure.
That combination of things wasn't something I was very.
На свече не так много клавиш, по сути. Прыжок, бег, крутиться. Вот, они делают абсолютно разные вещи.
There aren't really many options before then, I don't think, from Talkatu.
При правильной комбинации. Итак, отличный трюк получится у нас или нет? Нет. Будет еще раз пробовать? Попробуй еще раз. И еще раз. Вот сейчас. Успешно. Хорошо. Отличный трюк. Для того, чтобы добраться до этой дальней платформы, он реально сложный. Как говорит спидранер, он не так, чтобы стоит для того, чтобы так много трайхадить от него, потому что пару секунд спасает, но все равно это классный трюк. У него выпали все 3 ореха. Он хвастается, что орехи выпали ему. Благо, последний орех ведет нас прямо к боссу. That's nuts.
And like Timpani said, because it's a story element, it kind of like Wooded is a very progressional kingdom. It's not like Sand where everything is just open and available right away. We kind of have to open up the kingdom to progress and get further into it. The nut planted on the tall fence, for example, the other moon that I got, is kind of at the top of the kingdom, and it would be a really awkward endeavor to try and go get it in the state the kingdom's in now.
Также напоминает нам, что когда мы поднимаем луны по истории, немножко меняется карта. Некоторые чекпоинты даже удаляются. Так что не всегда спидранер хочет реально их собирать.
Yeah, Wooded Kingdom is one kingdom where we do kind of take advantage of as many story moons as we can, just because it is going to be opening up for us the more we do so. But we can go get some more moons from the bird, I think.
That was very convenient, yeah, because you can just warp straight to it.
Yes. And then, again, using those checkpoints to our advantage. Okay, yeah, this is one of those areas that I was just talking about.
Попугай.
Ooh, and here's the other one. Okay.
It's a parrot.
Flooded Pipeway is a pretty cool room. It's only like It's only really cool if you do the entire room because it's all based on a cycle. And you'll see any percent speedrunners kind of abuse that cycle. We have to go right to the end of the sub area though. Like that.
I feel like if anybody ever put any time into
Разрешено, в
learning
принципе,
this
собирать все луны.
game, even way
Но
back
для
when
того,
it
чтобы
came out,
прогрессировать в
out of
спидране, да,
interest, this was
нужны только луны, которые он
probably a
назовет.
vivid memory for them. This sub area, a lot of people
Yes.
struggle with it.
Yeah, it's definitely, it's a tough one for sure, and it's one that is really satisfying when you finally kind of put the pieces together. Oof. Okay, so we're just gonna progress through the kingdom here. And then that little hint art there, I don't think we've revealed the hint art yet.
No, we
Yeah, I think
haven't.
that's the first one.
So that is Luigi
Итак, это был
hint art.
Луиджи, а зачем мы его...
And they're really handy. We were talking about how coins can be kind of helpful. We specifically went out of our way to get that hint art because it will give us 200 coins, and there are a bunch of them
их надо собирать для того, чтобы они нам в итоге дали 200 монет. Окей.
We're actually doing really well on
Готча, спидранер, готча.
We're not usually sitting at around 1,000 coming into Wooding.
Yeah, you could buy the boxers almost.
I could. Almost good.
I was going to say as well, also, if you played this game when it came out and you're wondering how you never saw any of those hint arts, it's because they were actually introduced via updates. They weren't actually in the game originally.
И Луиджи появился с патчами к этой игре. Окей, хорошо.
So it was quite nice of them, especially, like, it was not intended for speedrun use, but it was very
Большое
nice
спасибо,
of them
что
to do it.
разработчики их добавили.
Yeah, coming from
Помогает в
all
спидранах.
moons runners, yes, it was very nice because the alternative to these hint arts was grinding coins. Treasure made from coins. It's almost like it's meant to be, of course. Behind the rock wall is... Oh, I know what that is. Okay. Well, you know what? We'll go get that first. This happens to me every time.
What's your third moon?
Not on a fence, so I'll get those two together.
Oh, right, yeah, sorry.
I could have got this earlier, but... Yeah, so we got the treasure made from coins. This is the one we were kind of like groaning about earlier. We have to go into the deep woods and pay a plant 500 coins in order to grow it, which is a very needy plant, to be honest. Have to take out a second mortgage just to get this power moon. But that's fine. It's the kind of moon where, like, I might just try to ignore it for as long as I can and see what else Talk to gives me, and if it's really good, then we can...
Будем надеяться, что одну из лун, которые нам выпало, мы не будем собирать. Какая-то не очень удачная луна, по сути. Я, к сожалению, не успеваю читать настолько быстро, насколько это делает спидранер, потому что спидранер, в принципе, все эти луны и так знает. Где располагается, ему по первой букве уже знает, что где искать. Вот. Мне еще предстоит казуально пройти эту игру. В ближайшем будущем, я надеюсь. Как-то мне станет лучше.
Get the Benny Hill theme going again. Okay, so we got the treasure trap, right? That was the other moon I got?
Yes.
Yeah.
Okay. And there's the rolling rock in the deep woods. So I was just kind of waiting for Talkatu to give me 3.
Окей, он нам выдал все луны сюда. Что ж, это случилось.
So, the first thing we're going to do is probably just capture that coin coffer. And he's kind of invisible. He's a little sneaky bugger, but he's here. And if I press the cap throw button or the attack
Если атаковать этим парнем, то он выплевывает монетки. И это механика, которую мы теоретически должны были использовать, чтобы вырастить это растение. Но представляете, сколько нужно монет? Он сейчас потратит всю свою 1000 буквально. Все, что нужно делать, он просто трясет контроллером. Так что не обращайте внимания на то, что у него там левая рука трясется. Или обращайте внимание, в любом случае она должна будет трястись.
LOL.
Донат, в котором сказали,
What would you say
что
to that, Dangerous?
Well, I'm just flattered, honestly.
только что
That's
Dangerous
a high honor,
заставил
making
купить
somebody
мне
buy a Nintendo
Switch. Я
Switch. You
хочу
won't
поиграть в
regret
эту
it, I'll
игру.
tell you that.
И это
Whether you
действительно
want to play Talk
замечательная
2
игра.
or do regular
После того,
speedruns,
как
or
я
even
посмотрел
play the
этот
game,
ран,
you won't regret
был
that.
очень...
Yeah, it's a great game.
Yeah, it's a fantastic
Очень
game.
захотелось
I've got
просто
Switch myself,
собрать
and it's brilliant. One more very
много
quickly
лун,
for you.
которые
We
я
have
просто сам найду.
$100 from a Scruffed McGuffin, who says, happy to support a great cause. Well, thank you very much again for your $100. 56,311. We're inching closer. Let's see if we've got a couple of hours left, but let's just keep those donations coming in. Let's see if we can get that 60k. Thank you very much.
So we have a very
Очень
scary
страшный
dino here. We're gonna just
динозавр.
hit him on the head with our nut, and then we're gonna use the nut to grow a plant, and then we're gonna capture the dino. All of this is in sequence, mainly to just kind of neutralize the dino so that he's not so scary. But he also breaks open this rock immediately, which is one of the moons that we needed. And the Deep Woods is
В
kind of
принципе,
a bad
закончили.
place to be.
Мы
It's not
получили
really
опять
fun.
отвратительный рандом.
The reason being that you can't
Спасибо
warp out of
только
here. The
ту,
compass doesn't
что
work, the map doesn't exist. The only way you can get out is by using these beanstalks, but luckily by planting in that pot, it actually
помогаешь
puts
нам,
us
как
right next to
говорится.
Sakatu, and we can continue on our journey. So,
Did you not get treasure made from coins?
oh, I didn't pick up the moon, didn't I? That's okay. I'm actually just gonna skip that. You know what? We planted the seed. We gave the coins. We paid our fee. And that's all I'm gonna do.
You made a charitable donation, much like anyone in the audience can do to support Save the Children right now.
It's true.
Exactly. So I'm gonna do a little bit of a combination here. So this panel, this spinning panel thing, is
крутящаяся панель помогла нам открыть немножко дальше прогресс по истории. Туда пока что не надо. Чуть позже туда пойдем. Возможно, возможно и нет.
While that is breaking, that cutscene is kind of taking place in the background. We can kind of turn the camera around and just come through here, and then the cutscene plays while we're in here, which I always just think is like just such a silly feature. But that it all makes sense when you kind of know about this game. So a lot of 3D games, what they'll do to try and render things properly and make sure that they aren't overloading.
Интересно, что катсцена триггерится и рядом с
if it doesn't get viewed on the camera, then it just doesn't exist at all. Including that cutscene,
этой луной, но и в не совсем правильном месте. Интересно.
We completed the task. We suspended the cutscene by going away, and then as we were coming back, it just continued playing as normal, which is kind of funny. And you'll see that a lot. If you watch a lot of Odyssey speedruns, the runners will manipulate their cameras to make enemies spawn faster, and they'll manipulate the cameras to make sure that like the moons that they're going to be grabbing are on camera in time, because if you don't do that, sometimes then Mario will just like phase through completely, and that's obviously not something you want, because you might just end up jumping off the cliff or something.
Чисто балдеж.
And we're gonna finish up here. Was it the nut in the fog? I forget. Let's see.
I actually was wondering where you were going, so I'm useless here. It's the shards.
Yeah, it's the shards one.
В прошлый раз ему пришлось здесь несколько лун собрать,
Like
так что это должно быть теоретически быстрее.
I used to.
Oh man.
Did something happen?
I know what happened.
I mentioned this in the GDQ run because we were here. And apparently, if you grab the shard, the final shard that spawns the moon, like it's happening now, at the same time that you die, so same frame, it just crashes the game.
Oh.
The game it doesn't like close, it just freezes and never works until you close it and reopen. It's very niche information that you probably will never need to know, but it has happened.
There's so many little things like that in Odyssey, and you're like, well, that happened, and now the game is broken.
Вот мы и закончили с этим миром. Отлично.
Wooded Kingdom, it's a pretty scary kingdom, but thankfully it's out of the way, it's behind us, we can move on. And yeah, we're going to be going to Lake Kingdom this time, so it typically would be faster if you're just trying to get through the game from start to finish to just select Lake Kingdom, because you can just mash through. But if the reason for picking Wooded first comes up, then maybe we can talk about it. But until then, we just charge onwards. Now, Lake Kingdom is kind of an interesting one. It's a small kingdom, which makes it really
Итак,
nice.
следующий мир, мир подводный, супер короткий и, в принципе, очень удобный. А босс-файт здесь тоже очень близко. Наша задача будет, наверное, сразу же сразиться с боссом, потому что он откроет нам... А, не, в последний момент будем сражаться. Окей, хорошо. Потому что все-таки сражения с боссами постоянно меняют локацию, в которой мы находимся, и это действительно неудобно.
Yeah, that's okay. On the lakeshore, that's a good one for last. Okay, so kind of all over the place, Talkatoo. You're really not treating me very nice
нам
today,
не
but that's
заводит
all right.
хорошо на дом. Ну ладно.
Just giving you as many opportunities to talk about every area of this game.
Talkatoo просто дает возможность поговорить нам о том, насколько это прекрасная игра.
Another really cool... Oh, sorry, go ahead.
Carry on, carry on.
I was going to say another really cool thing. I was going to extend into like a topic of conversation. So if you do have like donations or something, you can read them for now.
Thank you very much. Well, speaking of Talkatoo, very appropriate because Talkatoo themselves
Неужто сам Talkatoo задонатил нам?
$10.
Let's go.
Итак, это будет пародия.
Give a moon name this. Give a moon name that. Would it kill you to talk about anything else? Well, thank you very much. We've also, to follow that up, received $50 anonymous donation. Even Talkatoo knows this run is absolutely nuts.
О, хорошо.
We've also received
Не самый сложный ОБ, но он достаточно быстро справился с ним.
so thank you for that. And Davidiel gives $50. It's great to hear how many amazing things Save the Children's charity does. I'm glad to support such a cause because children are the future and the future is bright. Well, thank you so much. Remember, all your donations are going to save the children. Back to you, Dangerous.
Absolutely. Perfect timing for that, actually. I got a moon that I was like really excited to see. It's called I Feel Underdressed. And if you were anybody else, you might be like, oh, that moon is not very great because I need to collect 15 purple coins and I need to buy an outfit and then the outfit leads me into that sub area. Or I need 1,000 coins to put on the boxers. You know, you need to...
Очень рад, Dangerous, что выпала луна, в которой можно было показать ОБ.
And was able to just kind of phase through the wall instead and save a lot of time.
Просто проскочили через стену. А казуально он говорит, нужно собрать 50 фиолетовых монет, купить костюм, пройти какой-то данжен. Сложно, в общем.
And I got it way faster.
It's very fast. I was very impressed.
Yeah, that was very good.
The thing with like the roll cancel clips is that they're very positional based, and because I'm wearing a giant hat right now, it can kind of make it hard to like line up properly.
Так что здесь нам не нужно собирать фиолетовые монеты. Покупать костюмы — это не для нас.
So I'm actually pretty excited that we were able to get that one on like the second try. Also, you might have noticed that I just like kind of entered that sub area and then long jumped off the side. That's incredibly intended. That's exactly the way that moon was supposed to be got. Don't worry about that.
It really is quite interesting how Nintendo expects you to find some of these moons.
Yeah, right? Like,
yeah.
You gotta look up a guide for that one. Just long jump past the door and on the side. 5-year-old Timmy's not gonna be able to do that. So, that was 4, 5, 6? No, 6, 5, 6, 7. We need 8 moons to leave, but one of the moons that Talkatoo gave me was hidden on the lakeshore, I think it's called, something like that. Which just so happens to be right next to the Odyssey, so we're going to use the warping back to the Odyssey as a kind of way to get that easier.
Хорошо, тут у нас поставилась последняя луна, которую мы получили. Это Talkatoo, отлично. Отличный результат.
All right. What's your favorite Talkatoo Kingdom, friends?
I want to say either Lost or Metro.
Возник вопрос у Dangerous комментаторам. Какое же любимое королевство у вас?
Yeah, see, it looks like we're about to go to the Metro Kingdom, Smile.
Oh, I love the Metro Kingdom.
There was a very large ocean with some islands in the middle that definitely didn't have any significance at all. We're
Отправляемся в
going to
метро?
Metro now, right, Cappy?
Нет.
This isn't. No, it's.
Dangers, you're not fooling us again. You can't do this.
Wow, Metro sure looks different.
Wow, Metro Kingdom's really looking different today, Dangers.
Где же все здания в королевстве метро?
So,
Ну,
surprise,
Баузер нас
surprise,
перехватил.
Bowser ambushes us, and we need to fight him in the Cloud Kingdom. I'm gonna try to go for a little strategy here. I probably don't need the coins, but I missed it. That's okay.
Получать урон здесь быстрее, но нам не пришлось этого делать даже.
Yeah,
Especially after you basically wasted 500.
Yeah, I wasted
Немножко
500
пытаемся
still in a good
манипулировать
spot
камерой,
too, like,
пока мы двигаемся к
very rich talkative run. I'm not gonna
нашему
lie.
противнику. Поскольку урон
So this Bowser fight is just like
очень долго держится в нас, ну то есть долго мигает Марио, и как бы можно так обузить фрейм инвулы.
There's just nothing that we really need to do here aside from the Bowser fight.
Фрейм
It's gonna be
инвулы.
the same in Cloud Kingdom here. And now we get to go to Metro, right, guys?
Yeah.
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 Uh-huh.
Wait, no, you're lying again, Dangers.
Oh,
Отправляемся
you
в
got
метро?
me.
Нет, это
Wow,
потерянная
Metro
королева.
sure
looks different
Королевство.
again.
Потерянная королева и потерянное
Wow, all the
королевство.
buildings turned into trees. That's weird.
Сломался наш самолет.
It's part of the
Шляп.
Sea's Green Initiative.
Тут достаточно
what's all
сложный
that
мир, если
purple
играть казуально, точно могу вам сказать,
poisonous
потому
goop?
что нашу
What, the
шляпу
yucky paint like goop?
готов в
It's
любой
grape
момент
juice.
украсть ястреб.
Yeah.
Это в разных
Whereas,
играх
just
Марио
grapes there, so I
была
wouldn't go in there.
I
Oh.
wouldn't
обыграна,
either, yeah, it's
где-то
probably not a good idea.
мартышка, где-то кто-то другой пытался украсть
Okay,
нашу шляпу.
interesting combo. So
Вот, и
I
наша
think what I'm
задача,
gonna do
чтобы шляпа у нас
is
всегда с нами была.
grab this moon. So Lost
Это
Kingdom is a
достаточно
really small kingdom,
короткое королевство.
and it's important to kind of use your checkpoints wisely here, for a couple of different reasons. One reason is that one of them literally plants itself right on the top of the kingdom, so we can use this checkpoint up here to get very easily to wherever else in the kingdom we need to go. The other thing is that every time we warp or every time we die, we're going to make Klepto angry again, and we don't really want that. So if we have a better vantage point to get out of the kingdom or around the kingdom
Вот
a little bit
ястреб,
better,
который
then
пытается
that's
нас
good. And
украсть
maybe somebody can
шляпу,
explain
но
what Klepto is
мы
all
ему не
about,
дадимся.
actually, because speedrunners
О.
kind of don't really bother with Klepto at all.
Капитан Тот тоже у него был. Деньги уже нам не так сильно нужны, так что он
Good
поэтому
fun.
он не будет их, скорее всего,
Well,
собирать.
Klepto is basically this game's challenge.
Or this kingdom's challenge, you mean?
Yeah, this. Yeah,
entire
Klepto's
game's
the whole
challenge.
game's challenge. You don't even. No. It's the kingdom's challenge. So there's this trigger zone in the kingdom that if you go inside of it, you are going to lose.
Да.
Happy to. There it is.
Like that.
Да,
That.
он
So
попал
thank you for the
в катсцену,
demonstration,
где у него
Dangers.
украли
That's what
шляпу.
happened with the explanation here. So Klepto is going to steal.
Он промазал
Happy. So
по
our goal as a
звезде.
speedrunner is to not have that happen. Danger simply did that intentionally for the sake of marathons, for my explanation.
Yes, exactly.
But
You're welcome.
yeah, so now what Danger
Теперь нам
has
нужно
to do
найти.
is traverse up to Klepto and get Cappy back by
Hello, bird?
launching him
Поймать.
into the air.
Найти и поймать.
With this ground pound
Ну,
block.
окей.
And you can see why we don't
Куча
want to do
времени
this. First of
занимает.
all, we lose Cappy, so we couldn't like continue the kingdom normally anyways. And we also couldn't leave, because if you've been paying attention, the way that we return order back to this kingdom and like, or leave any kingdom in general is by putting Cappy on the globe on the Odyssey. So if we've been stripped of that ability, then, you know, we're kind of hooped, right? So we need to get Cappy back.
Part of what makes Danger so kind for doing that right there, for charity and the sake of the demonstration, you know.
Exactly. Yeah, I did
We
definitely
also,
did it for charity. Smile.
We also get the benefit of this banger music now, though.
That's true. Yeah.
Because until you actually trigger Klepto, there's just no music here.
Пяу.
Yeah, it's just silence in the kingdom, and then when you make Klepto angry, then they also, I guess there's like some kind of intense music going on, but yeah. I do hope that we get some specific moons in Lost Kingdom. I'd like to show off a couple, or at least there's one trick for sure that I'd like to show off. Hopefully we get it.
A propeller's secret, I'm sure.
That's the one, yeah. I know a lot of people probably don't know that there's a secret in the propeller, but there is.
There's a secret in the propeller? What is it?
It's secret, I
Так,
can't tell you.
луна из магазина,
Yeah,
окей,
sorry, we gotta
хорошо.
wait till Talker 2 tells us we can get it.
That's
Луна
right.
из магазина
We're not allowed to
достаточно
click
быстрая луна в
secrets.
каждом
I
мире, но
can't
для
tell
этого нужно иметь
beforehand?
достаточно денег.
No,
Why not?
gotta be a secret.
Danger's
We-
on commentary. I need to be able to help you out here.
In fairness, we did talk about it in the commentary booth. It's not our fault if you didn't read it.
Yeah,
Oh my
exactly.
gosh.
Чтобы пройти игру, по сути, нам нужно собрать минимальное количество
That's
лун,
what I'm gonna do. So I'm gonna use a death warp
и
to my
минимальное
advantage
количество
here,
лун отмечено в левом
in
верхнем
order to
углу.
get this butterfly's treasure. In this game, the game
Кружочками.
will transport you back to the last checkpoint or the last like instance of like there are a couple of things that aren't necessarily checkpoints, but they count as checkpoints, like having just finished a
На самом
story
деле лун
element or
здесь
something
намного
like that,
больше.
or
Ну
having
или
just
немного
purchased a moon
больше.
from a shop.
Больше,
There's a
в общем.
couple things like that.
Так,
But
Десворп,
if you
все,
just
все на
recently
месте,
collected a
все
checkpoint,
правильно
then you
делаем.
can use that checkpoint to get back up to the top of the kingdom like this. Over the fuzzies above the swamp. And soaring. Okay. Well, in that case, I'm just going to come back up, actually. We only need 2 more moons, so I know exactly which ones I'm going to go for. Unfortunately, I wasn't able to show off my trick. Actually,
Эй,
you know what?
это же
I was
марафон,
gonna
я
say,
могу все еще
You can
показать.
show it off anyway if you want.
It's a
Я просто
marathon,
покажу вам
I'm
трюк.
just going to do it.
Which
So,
actually,
почему бы
it
нет?
does give us the ability to talk
Он же
about
может.
something else
Sure.
about moons that aren't assigned by Talker 2. If you speedrun this and you pick up a moon that isn't assigned by Talker 2, it's not disaster. You don't have to reset. You simply just have to get another moon. Like, so it's completely fine.
Вот крутая луна.
Dangers is obviously grabbing this
definitely
moon
the
here.
intended way. Definitely the intended way to do this, by the way.
Yeah, I don't know why people say Mario games are easy. So
Но он не стал ее собирать, тратить время, но, по крайней мере, показал, как он
Now, the way that
ее
you're supposed
открывает.
to get that is those like colorful wigglers that were at the other side of the kingdom. You're supposed to capture one of those and bring them all the way over to the side with the Odyssey, and then stretch them into the hole. But that takes a lot of time. So instead, we just use what we call a capture warp, or affectionately a dram strat, to just kind of take care of that for us. And it's a
Это
little
почти
tricky,
не
but
заняло
it's
времени.
good.
Отличный
It's
шоу-кейс.
fun to showcase for sure. And we didn't collect the moon because we didn't need to, right? We had
Он
our
сказал, что
moons.
эта луна намного
Talk to
сложнее
didn't say we could get
собирается,
that one, so I
но
didn't.
мне еще
We are
предстоит это
now-
узнать, не могу вам
we
точно
are now
сказать,
up to
насколько
2
тяжело.
moons that you've spawned and not collected.
Поверьте на слово, тяжело.
And plenty more that we've just kind of passed by and said hello to. and
Да,
not been
этот
able to
мир
do anything
сильно
about it.
может решить Estimate, насколько
Let me know when you've got a
реально
second,
он справится.
Yeah, go for it.
because we do have a few here coming in.
Sure
We
thing.
have $25 from Psycho Pew Pew. It's time for bad Mario jokes again, right? Here we go. Why did Mario get a goldfish as a pet? Because they were so cheap.
Oh,
Oh dear. Oh, come on, folks. I'm sure we can do better than that. Keep them coming in. We've got $120.42 from Anonymous. Thanks for an amazing event. Here's to a great ending and 60k. Well, thank you very much. And we have
Не
$60
справляется немножко с спидранерским
from
управлением.
Hinos, who says for Resident Evil a Village. Thank you as well. $50 from Neosa. Thank you for the great week of runs. And $50 from Give Me PS5, who simply says PS5 me. And remember, $50 or a cumulative $50 gets you into the draw for that
Окей, со
PS5
второго раза
expansion
нормально.
pack.
Хорошо, хорошо.
They are a rarity, so get those donations in, and you're into the draw for that as well. And remember, all your donations go
Самое время
towards Save the
напомнить,
Children.
получается, о том,
Thank
что
you
такое
so much.
толкоту процент, правильно? Итак, толкоту процент у нас
all right.
подразумевает,
So
что нам
Metro's
нужно
kind of
собрать
fun,
луны,
um,
но не все,
by
а
fun,
все,
I mean,
которые
a little
скажет
bit
нам
complicated, as you can see.
попугай. Зовут его
But
толкоту.
Metro
Кстати, в этом мире он
is
не
a-
появится
another one of
сразу,
those,
нам
like,
нужно
sequential
успокоить
kingdoms. There's not,
шторм сначала.
a Talkatoo to be
Успокоить
seen
шторм
in
нам
Metro
нужно
Kingdom
будет
until
сразиться с
we've
боссом.
accomplished a little bit of the story.
Вот, и поэтому мы ни одну луну не
So this
собираем.
nighttime portion,
Нам
we
выгодно
kinda
будет
just have
вернуться
to
за ними
deal
потом.
with.
Но мы можем их собрать. Но нам выгодно вернуться
Yeah, this
за
is
ними потом.
probably the longest stretch
Вот.
for the rest of the run where
Это,
there's
кстати,
just
не
no
хардкорный
Talker 2.
толкоту
I say
ран.
for
Есть еще
besides
хардкорный
the
толкоту
ending.
ран,
Yeah.
в котором нам
Yeah, because everybody's scared of this
предстоит,
guy.
получается,
This
собрать
guy's terrorizing
больше
the town,
лун по той
so we
причине
need to
простой,
just, you
что
know, exterminate
лунные
the
истории не
Mechawiggler
идут в счет.
before
Лунные
everybody
истории
kind of
это
comes out
все
of hiding and is
лунные
okay
от
again,
боссов.
including Talkatoo.
Вот сейчас мы, допустим, получим 3 луны от босса,
This is one
насколько
of
я
the
помню.
few, I mean,
Вот.
I can't really
И
say this with good faith, considering
луны,
I'm doing
которые
a
просто идут
Talkatoo
по
run,
истории,
but if you were doing an any
они
percent run,
как-то
this would be one of the
отмечены,
few instances
толкоту
of
их
RNG
даже
in
не
the
может
entire speedrun
нам выдать, потому что они просто как бы идут для того, чтобы история прогрессировала.
You know, most Mario games are pretty skill heavy. They're pretty like technicality, not really RNG heavy. But this particular pattern right here, when he comes out of the wall, he can give me one of any like a dozen patterns, and I have to react to them accordingly. And the goal here is to finish the fight in the second phase. There we go, just like that. That pattern was like kind of average. The one that you're looking for is anytime he kind of crosses across the bottom, because he'll be really easy to shoot. Just about any pattern looks like it
подороже
should be
поставить
okay.
highlight my
The
message,
game's
тогда можно
hitboxes in
будет
this fight are
поставить
just they're great.
пью ваши
They're
поинты,
fantastic. Just wonderful.
It is worth mentioning,
поглощаю ваши
just so it's
пузырьки.
not seen as a put-off. Generally, you have a wide window to react to any amount of pan, and the only time that your run is really going to be affected by the RNG of the pans is if you are running at like a really high level. So for the most part, if you were just running this game for fun, it wouldn't really. It would not affect you very much.
Yeah. If
Так, вы можете заметить, мир немножко изменился. Он стал светлее. Дождь прошел. И значит, что мы можем найти нашего попугая.
So it's not like a huge deal. Like you're not going to be like completely shut out. Like that pattern was probably on the worst end, and I still managed to two-cycle it. So it's again, it's not really a huge deal.
Что же нам порекомендует?
Ooh, bullet building. Ooh, the other one. Oh, remotely captured car, dude.
Хорошие звезды, похоже, нам дают. Как минимум, вот это точно отличная звезда. Здесь мы используем небольшой глич. Оп, хорошо. Он немножко захайлайтил то, как это выглядит. Он поднял контроллер, но он поднял не то, чтобы больше нам показать, а для того, чтобы наклонить скутер. И скутер так сильно наклоняется, что может зайти немножко в ОБ и, соответственно, дать нам возможность собрать луну из клетки.
And basically, if you time it so you flick your stick while tilting the controller, you can lean in far enough that Mario's hitbox will collide with the moon, so you'll basically just clip in and grab it.
That's right.
Essentially.
His nose is like just big enough to be able to like squeak in there. Oh, we got sewer treasure right away too. That's fun.
But that is a good showcase thing.
It is. Yes, it sure is. You know, Talkatoo always looks out for me for the showcases, which very thankful for.
Так, выпала нам не очень хорошая луна в... Как же называется это место? Sewers... канализация. Но, возможно, он сможет показать крутое ОБ. Получится у него или нет.
Sometimes I forget that jump is even possible.
Yeah, the little vault off there.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's really cool.
You and I are in the same boat on that one.
Да, я тоже... Теперь я понял, почему интенционная. Блин, красивая песня, конечно. Как эта луна на самой вершине.
Grab that moon when you haven't looked at it yet, then sometimes you can just phase right through it and dive off the top of the building, and that's just great news.
Да, у нее неплохие треки. Старые, новые не знаю, не так, чтобы фанат вообще, в общем, ее творчества, но что есть.
So we're going to try and mitigate some of that randomness by
Дети 20-х или
The
дети
story
нулевых.
moons are just these musicians that are scattered around town. But we have to talk to Pauline first, so we'll do that.
Yeah, since we sort of half touched on sewer treasure, it's actually not a good moon to get in the
Мы
run
почти ни
because
одного
the sewer
инструмента
that
еще
the
не
moon
собрали.
is in is locked until you collect all of these musicians. So if you get it early, it sort of either forces you to do the story progression early, or you deal with
Насколько я знаю,
not
луны
having
с
a slot for a
инструментами,
while.
они связаны.
Building, is building this one, the one that's
Yes,
closest
building
to
is
you?
it's the closest one, yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. They're both kind of named ambiguously, so it's kind of hard to know which one is which.
Инструменты вроде бы в лунной истории.
I was going to say for
посидеть, послушать
context for the
историю.
viewers at
Отличная луна, я так
home,
понимаю.
the other
Как раз время перемотаем.
moon that's located on a roof is
Еще на месяц вперед.
yeah, it's rooftop and building, so it's very easy to get.
Друзья по скамейке.
There are a couple of like ambiguously named moons in this run and in this game. You can actually see the plant like physically growing up there as I turn the clock forward. That's normal. That's supposed to happen.
It's good fertilizer.
And there's the
А вот и еще одна семечка. Теперь нам не нужно беспокоиться.
So yeah, we didn't even need to worry about the ambiguity of it. We can just do both.
Спасибо, игра. Я люблю перематывать время.
Seed moons, they're great. They're fantastic.
Это очень далеко, блин.
Birds do love seeds. Yeah, that's
И
true.
птички любят семечки, да?
You might be wondering, like, why are you not collecting purple coins? There's an outfit room in Metro Kingdom. Surely you might be wanting to like preemptively get those, right? The answer is no. I don't actually want to. And that's because we have a way of getting into this outfit room without, just kind of like Lake Kingdom. There's a clip that we can do to avoid having to use the outfit. So I don't need to collect purple coins, and you'll see the clip.
Получится у меня показать вам оба, посмотрим.
If we get it.
Говорит спидранер.
Kind of handy that we got both actually, because we can kind of just travel between the two buildings with the two different times.
Выросла
ready for us.
Так, как нужно.
I thought you were gonna jump onto the lamppost and jump up, and I was gonna be very impressed.
Maybe one day I'll be good enough for that. Okay.
Итак, Талкату, что ты нам дашь
Talk to you, what do
сегодня?
you got for me now? Big jump escape. Okay, so that is a sub area. And
Еще
the
одна
other planter.
семечка.
Would you look at that?
Посадим все сегодня.
Well,
Почему нет?
Sure.
I guess
we've been
this is
speedrunning for a long time. It's been like 3 months.
Yeah.
Спидран этой игры занял 4 месяца.
Well, it's 4 now. We've been speedrunning for 4 months. I hope that I don't
Надеюсь,
for this marathon.
я уложусь в эстимейт, говорит спидранер.
All right. I think we got big jump for that room. I'm just double checking.
Yeah, you did.
So we'll do that sub area then. That's just this one right here. Get to say hello to the dino that was attacking us earlier in Wooded Kingdom. This
О, динозавр.
It's not really a hat. It's more of like a like motorcycle goggles.
Вот это экстрим. Я, кстати, не видел этой звезды. Этой звезды не было.
Notice a lot of things. It's basically Nintendo's way of saying you can't capture this.
Yes.
Yep.
Since obviously, if you could just capture the dinosaur here, I feel like a lot of the danger would be.
И схватить этого динозавра нельзя. Надо именно
Sure.
катиться
I'd
вперед.
stay here, but yeah.
Будем
Yeah,
телепортироваться,
perils of the
используем
room would be
чекпоинт, так быстрее.
Okay, couple more moons.
Всего несколько лун.
Rewiring neighborhood. Okay, we do get to do that moon.
Nice.
Oh, did I miss? Oh, it's
Сначала
the
надо
seed,
собрать
right?
семечку.
So we'll grab the seed.
Немножко поторопился.
It is very
Очень
unlikely
редко,
that I
что
get
вы
all three
получаете
seed
все
moons in
3
the same
семечки,
kingdom,
но
so I guess that's cool
Okay.
for a little showcase.
I feel like it actually would be pretty good as well in a normal run if you preemptively had planted them all.
Yeah, true. If you kind of like, yeah. And if you got them all in sequence too, then you just kind of bang them all out together and like set the time forward once. That
да,
wouldn't be so
если,
bad.
кстати, вы бы получили все 3
Yeah,
сразу
just
же
thinking
подряд,
because
вот
Metro
это было
has
бы
a lot of
вообще супер
sub-areas
плог.
and quite
Вы
a lot of them
получаете
are
все
quite
3,
slow.
и для
So
всех 3
basically
один
anything
раз
in the
переводите
overworld
время.
generally is quite nice to get.
Exactly. Okay, so now we're gonna go do that that
Итак.
clip that I was talking about. So rewiring the neighborhood
ОБ.
is the outfit room of
Мы
this
не
kingdom,
собираем костюм
and you're supposed to talk to
для
a
того, чтобы
foreman
пройти
who's
в
on the ground
дополнительную
just beneath this building, but
локацию, но
instead
мы
of
просто
that, we can come here
проползем в ОБ. Оп, со второго раза,
and
что?
do this.
Итак, мы
And
уже
suddenly
внутри.
we are
Изи.
just inside this building, which is exactly as intended.
Personally, do not like this clip because it means that we have to skip the coolest outfit in the game, or at least one of them.
Yeah, Construction Mario. Like the Mario Maker.
yeah.
Марио
Yeah,
Строитель,
if
один
anybody's
из
played Mario Maker,
лучших
it's basically that outfit on the cover.
костюмов, которые нам дают, чтобы сюда
That
попасть.
was one of my favorite parts when I first started running All Moons. Was we didn't have that clip, so you just wore the Mario Maker outfit for like the any percent portion.
2. Okay, so I think we have exactly the right amount of moons for me to just collect story moons.
Так,
in
получается,
sewer.
у нас уже достаточно лун. Осталось собрать из луны по истории.
So,
Do you?
yeah, we got 4
Два
more remaining.
музыканта.
So the 2 musicians and then the story
you've
moon in
got
the
2.
sewer.
Просто два
I
музыканта.
wasn't sure if you have 1 or 2.
Почему нет?
I'm guessing it's the trumpeter then.
Yeah, trumpeter, and then
И в
we just go
канализацию.
in the sewer.
Nice.
Па-па-па-па.
Doing these story moons is kind of like a, when you play Talkatoo, you balance your risk and reward, because I could have potentially just gone for new Talkatoo moons. They probably could have been faster as well, because there's a lot of moons in Metro Kingdom. But sometimes the RNG, you don't really want to have to deal with it a lot of the time. So if you can eliminate the RNG by getting story moons instead, then you're kind of creating like a net neutral for yourself, if that makes sense. And so that's what we're going to do here. In fact, I might do that in Seaside just because we might get like 3 Talkatoo moons in Seaside and then just do the story in Seaside. Mainly because there are a lot of story moons in Seaside for how like small of Kingdom it is, but also because it's got the best boss fight in the entire game.
Yeah, Seaside is...
Absolutely, please do.
Yeah, sorry, Tamani, go ahead.
Итак,
no, it's
скип.
fine, it wasn't... you can wait.
Не с
Okay, no
первого.
problem. Sorry to interrupt. We
Не с
do have
второго.
lots of donations
Не с
coming in here.
третьего.
With $50 anonymous
Не с
donation
четвертого.
without any comment. And we
И
have
не с
Psycho
пятого.
Pew Pew back again with
И не с
$25.
шестого.
Maybe this
С
one is
седьмого.
better.
С восьмого.
What do you call a Mario Brothers
Девятого.
character
С десятого.
on strings?
С 11-го.
Mario
Последний раз он
Net.
сделал это.
Marionette,
О, он сделал
of
это,
course.
отлично.
Oh,
Он смог.
fantastic stuff. Please, if
Последний
you
раз
can
он сделал
back
это,
to those,
по-моему,
please
с
get
третьего или
those
с второго
funds
раза.
in. We always love them here. They always help save the children. $50 from
На этот
Cymaster
раз с
without
11-го.
any comment. And
Окей,
$50.66
хорошо.
from Sam26 without a comment. So thank you so much. Remember, all your generous donations do go towards Save the Children. We've currently got 56,902. Come on, folks, let's get 57. Remember, we're heading towards 60,000 to get that Resident Evil Village bonus run. Thank you so much. Back to you.
Absolutely. Getting some donations in just as we're doing another roll cancel clip. Seems to be kind of the story of the of the run so far, which is great news. So yeah, that's another roll cancel clip we can do.
Вот и
Arguably the
все.
hardest
Закончили
one
с
in the
метро.
entire game, using that pipe to
Пора отправляться в следующий мир.
clip into the area where the piranha
Осталось
plants
совсем
are.
немного, полрана прошло.
And very useful in any of the speedruns that end up going in there. But again, probably the hardest one, especially when you're wearing a sombrero. So
Yeah, it seems like any roll council clips that we do, pipe on top of pipes specifically, we don't tend to find any consistent setups for. I feel like if we had a consistent setup, it wouldn't be too bad, but that's the main problem, is just no one really understands it well enough.
yeah, for a little bit of
So,
game history, this game is kind of followed the same line that a lot of modern games do, where they had an original version, and then on release day, they created a patch to just kind of fix some of the things that they caught at the end. That's a pretty normal thing for modern games to do. But we can revert back to that original patch if we play on a physical copy of the game that was built on that patch. And that patch, that particular version of the game was a lot more broken when it came to the roll cancel clips. And they were very easy, including the...
В принципе,
like,
у
a
этой
lot of
игры
them
есть
were
несколько
incredibly
патчей.
easy, regardless, but then when they patched to
И если у вас есть
1.1
физическая
and
копия
1.2,
первого патча,
they kind of made
то
them a
она
lot more
полезна
difficult
для
to get out of
спидранеров.
bounds, and that was because they were planning on introducing some like multiplayer content, and they didn't want people getting out of bounds easily. So doesn't mean that they're impossible. As you see, we've done it already 3 times today, but did make them quite a bit harder. And now we're in Snow Kingdom. Snow Kingdom is like, I don't know, it's hit or miss. I don't know if I like this kingdom or not. I still
Hit
can't
or
decide
miss.
when it comes to
Зачем он
Talkatoo.
это сказал?
The problem that it has is that it doesn't really open
А я,
up
кстати, не помню
until you've
продолжение Hit or
completed
Miss.
the story. So
Ну
there's
ладно.
not a very big moon pool, which is a good thing and a bad thing.
Будем надеяться, что Толкоту будет опять же
Yeah,
снисходительным к
you'll
нам,
have
и мы
noticed
быстренько
that
соберем
Dane
все,
just
что нам
picked up
нужно.
some purple coins before he even came into the actual village, and that
А,
will be
точно, спасибо.
because the outfit room is already available, and it's obviously, as Dane just said, the moon pool is small, so it's usually quite likely that you're going to need to
С
get the
большой
outfit
вероятностью
here.
нам придется
So picking up
собрать
some
здесь,
purples outside quickly is, as a preemptive measure, is
как
usually
он
the safest
называется,
play to make.
костюм.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah, so I'm going to be
Наша
trying my
задача
best to
будет
collect
собрать
15
15
purple
монеток.
coins so that we
15, в
can get
принципе,
into
это
our
немного.
snowsuit as fast as possible. That Spiney's in like the perfect place. We love that. So yeah, just like right in the way, which is perfect. You might be thinking, why is it faster to leave one Spiny by itself? This game will only initiate cutscenes when the camera has panned to the correct location. That goes for talking to NPCs, it goes for little scenes like that, everything. So if we get Mario a little bit closer to where the cutscene starts, then we are basically panning the camera for less time and it saves time. Slip behind the ice, so that is... Oh, wait.
That would be one of the outfit rooms already.
Yeah, exactly.
So picking up the purples was a good call. You'll notice that there are 4 rooms in this area. As we mentioned, there's a small moon pool. To progress the story normally, you need to go into each of these 4 rooms.
О, отключился Dangerous, возможно, от голоса, поэтому и камера пропала.
So that means there's basically 4 free moons up for
Включил его
grabs.
обратно.
But there aren't actually 10 extra moons, so we do have to pick them up, essentially, if we want to
О чем мы
leave
там?
here.
Мы. Так.
Basically.
Да, тут 4 комнаты. По истории
some of
нужно
them.
пройти по всем 4 комнатам,
I kind of ran into the unfortunate circumstance of
чтобы
like
получить нужное.
not getting one of these sub areas to collect my purple coins proper. So I had to just kind of
Нам
pick a
пришлось
sub-area and
сходить
go get
сюда
my
и
purple
потратить
coins,
время
and then
на
now we have to go
монеты
to the shop
фиолетовые.
because, the idea is that you're just waiting for Talkatoo Moon to send you into one of these rooms and then collect your purple coins and then buy the outfit afterwards. But I got some bad RNG and I got both of the purple coin ones first. So that's okay. We'll just go to the shop and we'll get
Купим магазин.
our outfit on. And we also got the shop
Нет,
moon as
не
well.
магазин,
So,
купим костюм.
you know, 2 birds with 1 stone, I suppose.
И звезду, которую заказали.
Get
Very
it.
nice pun.
Somebody's got to do the bird puns, all right?
Well, I mean, both Fur and I had eagle eyes to spot it, so
That's true.
Yep.
So thank you for that.
that was
See
the
what you
best
did
I
there,
could do.
Symphony.
Well, I mean, I'm 1-0 on you now, so now you have to make one.
Me?
Yeah?
I did not come prepared for this.
If somebody can find a way to clip into this outfit room, then
Если вы
we'll be
сможете
forever
найти
grateful,
способ попасть в эту
because then we don't
комнату
have to put on
без
our snowsuit
костюма.
anymore.
Well,
But
actually,
I hate
Не
to
очень
break it to you,
сложно.
Dangers,
Yeah.
but
we can clip behind the door, but unfortunately, the loading zone isn't there until you talk to the Shivarian and the
А,
lock comes
oh,
ясно.
really?
Yeah, so
Вообще-то мы
there's
можем
just-
попасть
you just have
через
to
дверь,
suck it up.
но,
That's so funny, actually. I didn't know that. I just
к сожалению,
like, obviously you can use the box clip or something.
недостаточно просто попасть за дверь.
Interestingly, it's only those locks.
Надо, чтобы замок
Obviously,
снял.
there's one in Lake like that, but
Сняла
that doesn't
катсцену.
take you through a loading zone, so
Right.
that's fine. But the one in Seaside, you can also clip behind if you use fish clip and go over there, which we may see. I don't know, probably not, but
Potentially not.
yeah. Essentially, those locks, those doors in particular, when they lead to a new area, just don't have. They're
Вот
not.
так вот,
I've
молитвы
already
спидранера
seen them.
отвечены. Жалко, что
Yeah,
это
'cause
не
the loading
помогает.
zones and stuff. Makes sense. That's unfortunate. It makes me kind of sad, but it makes sense. There's another thing that Talkatoo is there's a kind of an important detail about Talkatoo, is that Talkatoo will only give you moons that are available in like the
Алкату
instance of the game
также
that you're in.
способен давать только те луны,
So,
которые нам
because of
доступны.
that, well, the
по
big asterisk on
истории.
that, but the idea is that Talkatoo
И,
won't
ну,
give
по
you moons
нынешней
like if
прогрессии
you
по
need
истории.
a peace moon, or like a moon that you can only get after you've achieved world peace, for example. Talkatoo won't give it to you in this state. And if there's a moon that you're only allowed to get in post game, Talkatoo won't give it to you in this state. And there is one moon that we actually can collect in Snow Kingdom before the post game state, that we do get in any % runs because it is extremely fast. But because Talkatoo will never give it to us, we never have to like worry about trying to get it. But I'm still probably going to just show it off anyway in case nobody's
Еще
seen
какую-то
it.
луну покажет нам.
Maybe somebody can talk about
Dangerous.
Snowdram as
Посмотрим,
we're kind
посмотрим.
of setting up to make our way over there.
Go ahead, Phil.
So Snowdram is this little trick, or well, no, that's a good word. It's essentially a trick jump you can do from on top of the Odyssey to get to a painting moon early. So painting moons are these moons that you can get by
Итак,
traveling
у
through
нас
a
есть возможность
painting in
достать
one
луну,
kingdom
которая открывается
to,
только при помощи картин.
another. in order to be on this platform that's
Ты
supposed to
открываешь
essentially
картину
be
и
separated
открываешь
from the
телепорт.
entire
И тут
kingdom.
имеются в этой
Yeah,
игре
there's a jump
телепорты
on
между
top of the
разными
Odyssey that's
мирами.
relatively precise
То есть
that
не обязательно перемещаться при
we're able
помощи
to do to collect that moon,
корабля,
but since it's not
летающего
something
нашего,
the game
можно при
expects us
помощи...
to be able to get yet, Talkatoo is never going to give us that moon.
телепорт. Вот.
I
И
was gonna mention something in addition, since I wasn't gonna mention it, but it is
есть
sort of
небольшой скип,
relevant
который
to
позволяет
when we were talking about older
с
versions.
крыши запрыгнуть
Fun fact with Talkatoo in Snow
туда, куда
Kingdom,
мы
on
теоретически не
the
должны
oldest
иметь
version,
возможность запрыгнуть.
for
Так что нам
some
сейчас это покажет
reason,
Dangers.
Talkatoo in this kingdom in particular
Надеюсь.
will give you moons that you can't get. Yeah.
Да, он справился.
And
Отлично.
it's very odd. It doesn't happen if you're playing on like any new version, but it's just
Если не умеете хорошо
neat little
играть,
piece of trivia, I guess.
So there
то
was
Also very nice.
эту луну не
painting right
достать.
there that,
И он справился с первого раза, отлично.
And there, you can go through some of the paintings, like we were mentioning before. There's a reason we were choosing Wooded Kingdom first, for example. There are a couple of paintings that you can go through before you complete the main storyline of the game, but there are two that you can't, and they are the ones that lead from Bowser's Kingdom to either Snow or Seaside. Basically, the ones that arrive into Seaside and Snow. And that's just because they come from kingdoms that are not really available until you've beaten the game anyways. Bowser's Kingdom and Mushroom Kingdom, respectively. So, yeah, those moons are kind of off limits until then, but they're still spawned in. They're still in the chests, and if you can reach them, which you can, actually, you can reach both of them early. Just
Так,
by
мир
kind of finagling the game
пляжа.
a little bit. So...
Пляж.
That brings us to
Отличный
Seaside,
мир,
and it's
очень
always so funny
короткий,
to me that we
с
like put on the
замечательным боссом.
snowsuit, usually like towards the end of Snow Kingdom, just to come to Seaside where it's really toasty.
По большей части тут можно собирать,
Yeah, he just doesn't
по-моему,
feel comfortable.
6
I respect
или
that.
5 лун по истории и
Yeah.
быть довольным, потому что тут всего надо
Behind. Okay, that's a good combination
10, если я
for
правильно вижу,
doing that and then the story stuff.
или даже 9. Так что нам не нужно много лун, по
We'll go in
сути.
here. This is a sub area as well, and we're only going to need the one moon from it, but would be kind of nice.
Жаль,
to
что
have
нам
both.
отсюда выпала только одна луна.
But while we're flying through here, probably some donation time, I think.
Не очень ему везет, конечно. Хуже, чем на
Fantastic.
ГДК
Thank you
везет.
very much
Я бы
indeed.
сказал.
Okay, we have received a $35 anonymous donation without any comment. But again, thank you so much. Remember, all your donations do go towards Save the Children. We are literally a smidgen away from $57,000 raised. We only need, if I can do my maths here, $43. So let's see who can get that in. Remember, we are aiming towards $60
Почти
total.
не было
to get
заметно
that
грусти
Resident
на
Evil
его лице,
bonus
когда он
run.
не смог сразу
But
же
also
собрать
remember that
луну.
Save the Children, every little bit that you can contribute helps. For example,
Но был
if you
конфуз
donate
легкий.
$10, that can buy malaria pills for 20 kids, and $100 can stock a library in a school in the US. So every little dollar you contribute to this event helps Save the Children make real difference.
Также отлично поработали здесь над подводными мирами разработчики, потому что есть возможность использовать рыбы, и при помощи рыбки очень быстро плавать.
Dangers, back to you.
Absolutely, yeah. Get those donations in. Help the kids. It's for a good cause. Okay. So we got 3 moons in Seaside. There are 4 story moons, and then the multi-moon at the end makes 7 for 10 total. So we only need like one group of Talkatoo's moons in order to kind of complete this kingdom. If they're good enough, of course. Like we might want to come back if we get like a seed that only exists on the opposite side of the kingdom, for example. We might have to re-roll or something like that. But these moons are relatively safe, relatively good. And so it's just going to be about doing a lap around this kingdom right now before we fight objectively just the best boss in the game. You would think that the bird boss would be my favorite, but no. No, the bird boss is not at all my favorite. Now,
Вроде 4
can somebody,
кнопки.
you know, just maybe remind me what the boss's name is? Just out of curiosity.
I was wondering if he's gonna remember. Brigadier Mollusk. Is it Delancier or Lancier the Third, Dauphine of Bubblaine?
Yes. I do believe that it is Brigadier Mollusk Lancier the Third, Dauphin of Bubblaine. It's a very good name.
Супер
How do you guys
длинное имя.
remember that? I can hardly remember my own
Денджерс
name.
прикалывается над комментаторами. Не напомните ли мне
I
имя
write it down. I've
босса,
got it
который мне очень
posted, though, right,
нравится?
like on
Вот
my
этого
monitor,
босса.
so I just
On your
read it off.
monitor?
Yeah.
Oh, you're
Oh, okay.
cheating.
Well, you know, it's an open book quiz, all right?
У меня просто открыто имя его на втором мониторе.
Yeah, I mean, no amount of me reading it off of paper is going to be able to prepare me for how fast I say Brigadier Molska.
Как же он быстро говорит.
So that's just practice.
Да, он
That's
быстро
just,
очень называет
you know,
имя
you
босса,
you just
у
gotta
него
say it a
очень
bunch of times.
длинное имя.
Well, speaking of the bird, I do have an appropriate donation here.
Yeah, please.
Okay, we've received, first of all, $10 anonymous without a comment. Thank you for that. But we've also received $10 from Blue Skies, who says, nice to see a run with my favourite burb. Oh, and Talkative too. Thank you very much indeed.
Yes, thank you, Blue Skies. Very, very good community member. Very wholesome. So thank you for your donation.
Вот, осталось последнюю кнопку нажать,
Okay.
и появится босс.
So we've kind of gone around breaking all of these seals. So we just need one more up on the top of this cliff. And then
Yeah,
we will have activated the boss.
Seaside is quite a calm kingdom for Talkative. It's like comes right
По
in
сути,
around the
один
middle
или
of
два
the
раза
run and
нам будет достаточно
well,
поговорить с
close to the
Толкатовым.
latter half,
Ну,
but
нам
it's
было
around
достаточно
the
покурить
middle
один
area, and
раз.
it's just
Отлично. Сейчас от
most
босса
of the
получим
time you're
3 руны,
typically
и
gonna get at
этот
least
мир
the
для
4
нас будет
story moves, so
закончен.
you don't have to get too much Talkative stuff here.
Yeah. I like to kind of gamble. Like I'm doing the boss because if you couldn't tell, I really love the boss. But if I were doing like an attempt for a really fast time, then I probably wouldn't go out of my way to do the boss. So you can just collect the moons and then not press the switches, and that makes it a little
Вообще,
bit faster.
говорит нам спидранер, что можно проходить мир быстрее без этого босса.
You know, it's predictable. We know exactly where the
Ну,
boss is
ему он
going to
очень
go
нравится.
at all times. So it's basically just about trying to get to those spots before the boss
Так что, в
does.
принципе,
And if
все
we are
честно. Если
successful
тебе
in that,
нравится, почему нет?
all the way through to the end of the fight, then
Как говорится,
it turns out that Mario's
это не
not the only
преступление,
one that clips
если ты
in
прошел игру
balls,
медленнее,
just because
если тебе
they're
нравилось.
speedrunning. You guys
То,
will
что
see
ты
what I
делаешь.
mean in just a moment here.
Окей, забудили босса. Сейчас он немножко в ОБ пролетит.
So they're actually just gonna clip right through the
И
hot spring like
easy.
that. And
Sorry, go on.
I was just like, I just kind of shrug my shoulders every time. I'm like, I don't know what makes that work, but it sure does.
I was just gonna say, I like that we have these creative names for tricks or things like that, but this is literally just called boss clip.
Yep.
Pretty self-explanatory.
We have like, I feel like there's 3 categories of trick names for Super Mario Odyssey. There's like something to do with the letters D and S, something to do with dram, or something that is just like so profoundly and like kind of vulgar.
Мы рады всем комментаторам, по сути, кто способен что-то делать через микрофон в 100 рублей. В шутку или нет. Поэтому у нас открытые заявки, и вы можете подать в группе ВК. У нас, кстати, наверняка есть
Oh, well, I can't wait to show it off.
ВК по-русски,
I
если
think you probably know what it is.
Yeah, I'm
У нас
really
есть группа
bad
ВК.
at remembering the trick
Вот.
names
Там периодически постятся новости.
because I'm just I
О
don't
спидранах,
like
естественно.
half of them.
It certainly doesn't help when we name them really silly stuff like Fast Timpani Neo Poke Dram. So
Okay, but that one's gold.
Рады всем.
that one's, yeah, I mean, how can you hate Fast Timpani Neo Poke Dram?
You just can't.
You just can't. It's not allowed. So
Итак, это Лава Мир, замаскированный под горячий маршмеллоу.
Thank you so much. We've got a lot of donations coming in here, a lot of generosity, a lot of love for the run, and a lot of donations towards Save the Children. $10 donation, sorry, without a comment, from Simmer, so thank you for that. Psycho Pew Pew is back again with another $25.
excellent.
We'll rate this one, okay? What do you think of this one? What does King Koopa use to browse the internet? A web browser.
Отличная шутка
Oh
была.
boy.
Это смешно. Что использует браузер для того, чтобы просматривать странички в интернете? Он открывает
Watching
Internet
from work,
browser.
seeing how much money we've raised for the kids really warms my heart. Let's get to 60k. Well, thank you so much. And again, Stephen H, $25. Thank you, ESA, and everything you have all done this week. And Moving Lima with $25, who just says, Burb. So thank you so much again for all your generosity. With that, we have got past the 57,000. We've gone flying past the 57,000 mark.
Это, наверное, да, про тех, кто не выговаривает букву R.
We've still got a couple of hours left.
Internet
2 or 3 hours
browser.
left in the event.
What do you
Let's
mean,
get that
browser?
60k. Thank you very much.
Browser,
Make it
you know?
60K by the end of
Internet
Super Mario Odyssey.
browser.
Let's do it. Why not?
Let's do that. There's your challenge, chat. Let's get them in.
Интернет-браузер. Даже на нашем языке,
Yeah.
поскольку браузер у
I'm
нас
not
тоже
leaving
есть
until you
слово,
do, so.
так понимаю, заимствовано.
That just
Будет
means
как
more
браузер.
Mario Odyssey.
Так что это был супер легко
Exactly.
переводимый пан.
Talk to all moons.
Okay. Well, that was a kind of an interesting combination. I won't complain about that.
I didn't see your first one.
Beneath rolling vegetables. So we kind of have to go in that direction anyways.
Mm.
So Luncheon Kingdom is a bit weird. We've been talking about procedural kingdoms.
Мы в лава
This
королевстве.
one, you might think that it's
тёплом
probably
костюме.
a good idea to try and like collect a lot of
Хорошо,
story
тут нет
moons and
штрафов
get
за
the
то, что ты в
procedure
тёплом
going so
костюме
that you
тут
can open up more of the
тусишь.
kingdom. But that actually is only really true up to a point.
Ну, могли бы
With this
подтушить.
kingdom is really trying to steamroll you directly to the story and actually will like sabotage the town if you collect the multi-moon that's sitting in the soup pot at the top of the kingdom. So we really don't
Нам
want to get
открылась
that at all.
луна
We wanna
истории,
make
вы
sure that
можете
if we
видеть,
get it
могли
at
видеть,
all,
заметить,
it's
что
gonna
там
happen at the very end, where
большое
our kingdom is not
маршмеллоу
messed up
лежит, но
for
мы не
us.
хотим его собирать,
Because
хоть он
we will
даст нам
lose our town
целых
checkpoint, and
3
the town checkpoint is the one that
звезды
Talkatoo is sitting right
Луны.
next to. So
По той
that
простой
would be
причине, что
very
все
bad.
телепорты из
So we have
города
to be careful not to
основного
do
будут
that until the
удалены. И,
very
по-моему,
end.
сам город будет
But
стерт.
that being said,
Что
you know,
очень
we're going to be still kind of going
неприятно.
through collecting the single story moon that we get from the Cheese Rock and from Spewart. And then we're also just going to be kind of getting all the checkpoints in every corner of the kingdom so that no matter what Talkatoo throws at us, we're going to be kind of prepared. This moon here is really cool. We're going to be doing Beneath the Rolling Vegetables, a little bit of a 2D area.
Будет
Gotta do a
сложный
bit of a
прыжок.
tricky jump.
Side note, getting past those hammer bros in damage list is an utter nightmare.
Yes.
It's true.
Got the
Прыжок
jump though,
получился.
so that's
Yeah,
pretty cool, pretty awesome.
Yeah, that one's actually a lot trickier than it looks because if you even slow down for a moment, you will not make
А
it.
лава,
And you
лава
will
тут
die.
моментально уничтожает.
Yep.
So it's
and
very
you
cool.
kinda have to-
Владимире.
You have to delay it in just the right amount of time so that like the platform moves.
Yeah.
Yeah. This is what we call the salt pile triple. Just a way to kind of get up this wall without needing to use any captures, which are not even available to us yet. So pretty handy little jump there. And you have to, for that one, like that one's a really, really tricky one. Like as you're going from like intermediate to advanced, I'd say, is when you kind of
Но
start picking
вот
up on that
комментаторы
trick,
сказали, что
because
сразу
it does
уничтожили.
require
Возможно, просто у
very,
него был 1
very
хп,
keen
поэтому так.
knowledge of like how high your jumps are and things like that.
Вот, но я не играл, поэтому не могу.
These
Oh,
are good
dude.
moons.
These are
Тут
all really good.
подтверждение.
Holy crap.
Yeah.
Хвастается спидранер, что отличный
Talkatoo's just making it
луны
out
нам
for
дал толкоту.
because I don't think there's really anything
Окей, хорошо,
particular
это
to show off
отлично.
here.
Это сохранит нам время.
So it works that
Позволит
these moves
быстрее
are pretty
пройти
fast.
игру.
I can't think. Maybe I'm forgetting something.
Nothing like trick-wise, really. Except for maybe like the 2D area I just did.
Yeah.
But yeah, they're like paired up really nicely right now. Like Talkatoo's actually giving me combinations of moons. Like if you get good RNG in Talkatoo, it's just gonna be like sequences kind of like this, where just like every combination of moons that you get. I mean, like this probably would have been a good one to have in combination with the other ones, but
I would have loved to see both the fork stars, moons. There's so many Mario collectible names. I go to say moons, then think no, it's stars, no, it's shines, no, it's
Комментарий говорит, так
yeah,
много
first playing Bowser's Fury,
имен
his
у
channel
того, что
makes fun of him when he
собирает
calls the cat shines moons.
Марио. Это звезды,
just
нет
happens.
шайны, нет
They're all
луны,
essentially the
нет
same.
что-то другое.
You have cat shines, moons, green stars,
plot
shine
device.
stars.
Звезды, святые
You have all
звезды.
these different collectibles. You can't expect me to remember which specific name I need to use when they all function the
У
same,
меня
you
есть
know?
купленная физическая. Опять же, у меня все пройдено.
Yeah.
We do have a lot of love
Надо
coming
только
in.
пройти будет.
Do we have a moment for it?
Keep going, yeah.
Okay, thank you so much. Okay, here we go. Starting off with an amazing $150 from Someone103. Love me some Mario. Well, we love your $150 donation. Thank you so much. And here we go again. Andrew of Pastatown gives us $10. Bird puns. Toucan play at that game.
Yes.
Always a hoot to see you speedrunning this game. With how fast you are, I can't help but wonder if...
Оборвали комментатора. Дискорд вылетел.
Too much.
We can always rely on Andrew of Pastatown.
Видимо, что-то с интернетом. Либо с Дискордом.
Thank you so
Thank you,
much.
Aiden.
Не услышали, к сожалению, мы шутки.
$7.50 from Defcon Warrior. Eating too much cake is the sin of gluttony. However, eating too much pie is okay, because the sin faux pie is always 0.
My brain hurts, but I understand.
I'm averse to math.
Yeah, that was my reaction. But
Это
thank you so much
сложную
again
шутку
for the
нам загадали,
donation.
но
Lily
ладно.
Smurfy won $30. Just says burp. And
Burp.
finally, I'll try and give you a good voice for this one. $25 again from some guy Taylor. This is Papa Cooper. Put out an APB for a male suspect driving a T-Rex of some sort, heading in the direction of, that place that sells sombreros. Suspect is Atlas. Repeat, Atlas.
Oh no.
Thank you
You
so
can't be
much.
trusted.
Вот и наш костюм.
Speaking of hats, though, now
Chef.
we're chef. We got to put it on.
Сложные шутки. Не такие смешные, как Баус.
One of the so any percent, you're obviously not going to be going out of your way to buy outfits in the shops and stuff.
Классная механика, где мы топим.
We have plenty of time to play
Ну
dress
да,
up.
в
In
прямом
fact,
смысле
Octane typically
растапливаем
wants us to quite a lot.
помидорчики, и они образуют нам
And
лужицу.
we typically end the run in the chef outfit, which makes me happy because that's what I used to do for work. So I usually ask my chat to say "we chef" when we have to put on the outfit. We'll go here. So now we got a golden turnip. The turnips kind of are like seeds. They're scattered around this kingdom.
Как нам нужно найти или собрать и принести золотые редиски, по-моему. Хотя турнип это, по-моему, не совсем редиска, это... Турнип. По-моему, редис все-таки. Но не могу точно сказать. Может быть, Google подскажет, не помню. Вот, и нужно будет их отдать повару. Они как семечки здесь.
You corrected yourself.
The ones with the green
Rep,
shells that
точно.
throw stuff.
I had to say it because there are Hammer Bros in this kingdom.
It's true.
Сказка
In
о
this kingdom
рэпке.
or in this game, though, right?
Well, I mean this kingdom specifically.
Да, я бы тоже
But,
перекусил.
both. They're in the 2D sections.
Как же он красиво ее
True, yeah, that's right.
донес.
Alright, so we got that
Never
one.
thought about that.
Yeah, because they don't throw pans in the 2D
Yeah.
area. So
I
they
mean,
have
maybe
2D
they
pans.
do, and you just can't tell because it's 8-bit.
Maybe.
I suppose. Retconning Hammer Bros from Mario lore.
Yeah,
They've
they were.
always
I
been
was fans
Hammer's.
all along.
Будет, что в 2D Марио
Alright.
Hammer Bros
So we got this sub-area
или
as well. It's too
молотки,
bad we didn't get the other moon in
челы
this
с молотками,
sub-area, 'cause the other
бросают
moon is,
именно
like,
молотки,
really fast, but
а тут они бросают
can't win 'em
сковородки. Возможно. Возможно, в 2D они выглядят
I actually really like this
абсолютно
sub-area.
одинаково.
oh,
И, возможно,
pick
они
up
все
Captain
время
Stone.
бросали не молотки, а
Didn't mean to do that.
сковородки.
I don't like that though.
yeah, not a
Вот,
fan of that.
твист получается.
Not a fan of that. We'll
Потому
just
что со стороны
kinda have
будет
to
выглядеть
deal
как
for
сковородка
now.
примерно. Все равно.
What else did I get? I got Crossing to the Magma. Do you happen to know if that's the secret one?
That is the secret one, yes, I believe.
Yeah, because the other one is like Magma Narrow Path.
Yes.
The good thing about luncheon sub-areas is that most of them are extremely short. So even if you get one of the moons in the sub-area, it's not a huge deal to have to go back in.
Yeah, I mean, like,
О,
there is has
сложная
been
локация уже
an
вижу.
sub-area and luncheon in the
Бесконечное
game for, like,
горение
forever
и
because it's just
падение.
fast.
Yeah, and now it's up to 2 again. This was the sub area that like we originally thought was going to be the fastest. But then a little bit of routing made the fork one faster, and then now we actually skip all of the story elements.
Так осталось, получается, всего 4 звезды. Вот сейчас получаем 3.
They both have made it in now because a lot of the story moons are being compensated for.
И останется еще одну.
Yeah, I mean, because like, even though these moons are right here, I mean, this is probably one of the fastest story moon collectors because there's just 3 there. But even just because they're out in the open, like this cutscene just takes a while, so it really adds up.
Absolutely. So you might have noticed that I was missing 1. You might probably thinking, Dangers, you just said don't do that because now you don't have your town checkpoint, but we had this moon here. This is Timer Challenge 1. I had this in my back pocket from talking to
Мы
earlier.
имеем
So
вот
we can just...
эту вот звезду заранее
I can never
заготовленную.
disassociate this moon from a bingo match I watched once where someone went to luncheon for this timer challenge.
I've heard the story of that.
Победа.
So I actually kind of wanted to bring that up earlier.
Так.
Not necessarily that example, but go ahead.
Осталось
Go ahead.
еще
I was just gonna say, Super Mario Odyssey bingo is pretty good.
2 мира.
Most bingo games end in snow or
Технически
seaside
говоря,
at the
3.
latest, so seeing someone come all the
Да?
way to luncheon is
Чуть-чуть осталось, в общем.
something else. That's
Yeah.
for sure.
Something a little special, because doing both snow and seaside to get to luncheon is obviously, you know, it's going to be a little slow.
Будет сразиться с драконом.
But I was going to kind of add on to that and
Вроде бы
say, like,
сначала.
you know, speedrunning is cool and everything, and like doing the same thing
Сейчас
over and over
проверим.
again can be kind of an achievement once you've gotten a really good time. But there are other ways to kind of have fun with speedrunning that aren't necessarily the grind. You know, stuff like this is a good example. Randomizers are a good example, but there are a lot of game communities that have bingo as well.
Мгм.
And Odyssey is one of them. So the idea being that you just kind of like accomplish tasks in the game, and because there's so many different kinds of moons in this game, and because there's so many different kinds of
Разберемся с
collectibles,
большим.
there's a lot of ways to go
Big
about
Bad
accomplishing different
Big
tasks.
Bad
And
Dragon.
can make bingo pretty exciting as well, and it really tests your game knowledge. So it's pretty fun.
I don't like this kingdom. I want to go home.
What, you don't like Spyro?
Is that the one we're going with today?
Which scary dragon character or non-scary dragon character is the purple dragon today?
So, if anybody was wondering the cool speedrun tech for this for this fight, there is none.
Yeah, it's don't die.
Есть ли крутой
Which
трюк
actually some speedrunners have failed at. So
для того, чтобы пройти до босса?
Yeah,
Ну,
including me.
немножко, только
I've seen
damage
Super
boost,
Mario
в
Odyssey
принципе,
speedrunners in, like, league
немножко
races
быстрее,
done
но
fight.
самый главный
It's something that happens.
трюк
Yeah.
в этом мире это просто не погибнуть под драконом.
Let me know when you've got a second.
Yeah, go for it. I mean, this fight is basically just an auto-scroller, so we've got until the end of it for donations.
Yeah, nothing like a big purple dragon breathing at you. Right, okay. Here we go. $10 anonymous donation. I'm willing to break every buck in my wallet to save the children. Shoutouts to Dangers for a great run and to ESA for an amazing event. Well, thank you very much. $20 anonymous. Bush with the screaming goose inside? Question. Interesting. And we have Jamu, who was our wonderful Super Mario Kart runner, with $50. A girl has to pay her debt to
Вот
the kart
и
gods.
донат
Thanks
от
again, ESA, for this amazing
предыдущего
week.
спидранера,
Loved it. And thank you, Jamu. We
которая
loved your run
проходила
as
для
well.
нас.
Absolutely fantastic. And finally, $10 from Triop with no comment. But again, thank you so much for your amazing donations. Keep
Я
them
так
coming in.
понимаю,
We're
на
on the road. We're
портативной
only 600
консоли
away from 58,000.
Mario Kart
We can do better.
задонатил
We can hit that
$50.
60K. We can get Resident Evil
Опять
Village.
за
Keep
каждую
it coming in,
смерть.
folks. Thank you so much.
Absolutely. Let's get there. 60K before the end of the run. Love to see it. Just in time for the end of this boss fight too. Perfect donations.
Ну, там не было смертей,
the
по
Ruined
сути,
Kingdom
это
doesn't have
просто
Talkatoo in it as well,
вылет
because
с
the
трека.
idea is that we're just beating a boss and then we're leaving. But Bowser's Kingdom is a little bit interesting when it comes to Talkatoo.
Yeah. I was wrong earlier when I said the longest stretch. Forgot about this part.
Just the entire
Yeah.
Bowser's Kingdom, yeah. So if you've played a Mario game within the last like 15 to 20 years, what they like to do with their games is they like to lead you to Bowser's lair for the ultimate showdown, then kind of pull a fast one on you and say, psych, actually, this is the second last place you have to go. You have to go here now, and it's even scarier looking, or something like that.
Ну, теоретически
So
нам показывают последний мир, и нам не показывают кружочки в левом верхнем углу, как будто это последний мир, и нам больше никуда не нужно двигаться. И здесь мы встретимся с Баузером, это будет конечная битва, но это не так. Вообще, очень круто стилизированный мир. Мне очень нравится. Тут целых 6 лун по истории, которые мы в любом случае соберем, и просто мы сейчас идем до последнего босса этой локации, который по какой-то причине не будет Баузер.
But Takatu also doesn't show up for that same reason, because we know we're completing the story. The game's trying to teach us that, like, we're done. Just kidding, we're not. So Takatu doesn't show up until after we've done all the story stuff.
I don't really appreciate you inviting me here for commentary and then just spoiling the game in advance.
I'm sorry, I didn't realize you hadn't played it yet.
Well, I mean, you seemed so sure I knew when you said, we know better.
Do we know better? Timpani, you should know better.
I know nothing.
So we might be skipping kind of like all of the content and just like doing the story stuff and getting to the end, but that doesn't mean it's not interesting.
Ну, прям все крутые звезды, но
some of the movement for these moons is actually quite good.
Мы обязаны.
If you do it
Так
correctly, dangerous, but that's a different story for another time, I guess.
There is a lot happening here.
Yeah, so shards. Usually having to go out of your way to collect shards like this is going to be a really slow thing to do, but again, this is for a story moon, so we have to do it. And because it's so like heavy platforming intensive, and because it's mandatory, over the years, this like the method in which you collect all of these shards has kind of evolved. And when it is done perfectly, it looks really, really, really swaggy, so...
Danger's also showcasing the end of shards by getting time lost, Dram.
Oh yeah, we love that. So
that is the name.
It is. Any strategy where you like... We've talked about Dram a little bit, but had very little opportunities to show it off. But any time where you like leave Cappy in a location and then get Mario to go collect a moon or do something... and then you home in Cappy to something to kind of warp Mario back to where he was before. That's what we call a dram, or a capture warp strategy.
Рассказать нам о трюке, который мы использовали на протяжении всего спидрана. Это мы бросаем Кэппи или шляпку заранее и оставляем его где-то, в то время как Марио делает что-то другое. А потом... Кажется, ошибка.
The idea is that we can throw both of the bombs at Harriet at the same time, and then we can just use that floating bomb to hit Harriet immediately afterwards, rather than kind of having to set up to hit Harriet multiple times, and that saves quite a bit of time.
Okay, I did know what this was. I'm also very upset.
Небольшой скип получился.
You're here.
Отлично.
What, Harriet first?
Yeah, first you spoil it, then you do Harriet first. I just feel like I'm being bullied.
Tim, when are you going to realize that you're in the minority?
I'm definitely not. What do you mean?
I don't know.
I'm actually curious what a poll would be like.
We should do that. I'm surprised we haven't yet, to be honest.
The most important decision or poll in the Odyssey community history.
Yeah. That was the day that half of the community... Yeah, that was the day that half the community got deleted from existence.
We just don't know which half yet.
We don't know which half yet. Whichever half wins, the other half is gone. So.
Yep. Vote at your own risk.
Obviously, a little bit of an inside joke for the folks at home. Whether you pick one boss or the other does not matter in the slightest. It's the same amount of time. So it's just kind of fun to poke fun at each other for picking the wrong thing.
Ты выбрал неправильного босса. Шутят они друг с другом, но на самом деле не важно. Какого босса мы выберем? И они об этом знают и просто шутят друг над другом. Не уважаю, конечно, такие шутки. Но?
The noodles, yeah.
Еще шутки?
Yeah.
We ate our noodles.
Okay.
Now we're ready for dessert, which is the Robo Brutal fight.
That's a questionable dessert.
You think so?
Yeah, I've never eaten it. a robot?
Well, you're about to. They're very tasty.
Oh, okay.
You can tell your palate isn't very refined, Farrell, I'll be honest.
What, Symphony? You can't just make fun of me like that in front of the viewers.
In front of what, 12,000 people? Something like that.
Oh my gosh.
So I said the Brigadier Mollusk the third defender pavilion is my favorite boss, but this is pretty close second, because it's a very platforming heavy boss.
Yeah, I think
Наверное,
most run. I want to say most
в
runners typically like this boss the most.
True толкоту проценте,
I think
где или хардкор толкоту проценте,
It's one of
где
the
не
coolest
считаются
to
луны по
watch
истории,
because it's just a spectacle.
этот мир самый ужасный.
Yeah,
Потому что
so if you've ever done this fight at home,
нужно,
the objective of this is that the robot is going to spit out like the Pokeo birds.
потому что
and you can
нужно
use those
добраться
birds to
до
poke bombs
босса,
to the legs,
и только потом
to knock it
собрать
down so that you can climb up with the bird and peck the
сколько?
bubbles
8
individually, but you can also ground
8
pound
лун
them.
получается
And so
где-то,
we basically use
если
our
я правильно помню.
platforming
То
prowess
есть сейчас
to
6, и еще
just
2
get
нужно
them
будет
all
собрать.
in order with our ground pounds instead,
Вот, а
and
еще
never fall off.
он
That's the goal
очень
anyway.
скиллово проходит босса и не падает.
Oh, I didn't get my spin down.
Промазал.
That's annoying.
Плохо.
Oh well. So the goal is
Да,
that you don't
цель
fall
была
off
не
at all.
упасть.
It should only be about 20 seconds extra
20
to
секунд,
make
говорит,
sure that we
потеряем.
get on
Ладно,
top
окей.
and get the last hit here. So not a big deal. Just a little bit annoying, I suppose.
Yeah, but this is also your tactic of demonstrating how you're supposed to fight this boss. So that's very appreciated.
Ну, теперь мы знаем, как
Yeah,
на
you
самом
know.
деле нужно было драться с боссом.
I mean, that even is the fast way. Like, that's not even really what you're supposed to do either. But little known fact, if you are
Да, есть же
playing
хардкор
this
толкоту,
game
где
casually, you think you
звезды
need to,
истории
like,
не
poke the bombs
считаются.
at the robot to make it kind of like stagger and fall over. You don't. When he's spitting bombs and stuff, the knuckles on his leg, I don't even know what to call those. They're like little,
they're just like vents.
yeah, little covers
Yeah.
or something. They like open up and you can use those circles to climb up the leg manually instead. So there's a lot of different ways to do this fight.
I can appreciate that Nintendo added what they thought was a faster way for people who are more skilled, and then we just decided, no, it's not good enough.
Yeah, who needs the birds? Am I right? I mean, I do. That's why I talk to one for my speedrun all the time.
Кому нужны птицы?
So, that is Bowser's Kingdom. Everything from the story is all packed away. And so now Talkatoo
Дальше говорит,
has
мне?
come to show their face.
Мне
So we
нужны
gotta
птицы,
work back
поэтому я
up to the top of
разговариваю
the kingdom.
с
We just
попугаем.
need 2 more moons to leave. Hope we get some good RNG. While we're talking to the bird, we can
Итак,
probably get some donations in.
Поговорим с попугаем, и попугай скажет нам.
Fantastic, because we still have lots of love again. Here we go. We have received $25 Psycho Pew Pew. How does Yoshi feel
Посмотрим.
when he gets hurt?
Что получилось?
Dinosaur.
Oh no.
Oh my gosh.
They shouldn't be
I
making
wasn't
me,
ready for that.
but they're getting me. I think it's just I'm not ready for it.
Oh, they're absolutely fantastic. Again, thank you for your generosity, Psycho Pew Pew. Not so much on the puns, but hey, no, honestly, brilliant. Cepheus, $5. Let's get that as additional run. Thank you for the awesome entertainment as always.
Да, я думаю,
Remember,
может, он...
60,000 total.
Не, в
Gets us
Estimate он точно
Resident
укладывается,
Evil
потому что сейчас еще одну
Village.
луну собрать.
Can't wait to see that again. Get Gadano some another chance after a bit of a mishap
Ему выпала
earlier in the
нормальная
week,
луна.
so we
Видимо,
really would love to see
нет,
that. Remember,
показалось.
all the money goes towards Save the Children, so not only do you get an amazing extra bonus content, you also get to help out fantastic cause as well.
Нужно,
And
видимо,
finally, for
высокая
now,
пирамидка,
$20
чтобы
Anonymous. Keep up the great work,
достать
ESA.
до
Well, thank you so much
женщины где-то
again.
здесь. Или нет?
Yeah, huge shout outs to
А, здесь просто
ESA.
10 человек
Well,
надо
you know, we
выбрать.
have a moment
Окей, он
before we kind of get
справился.
to the grand finale
Набрать
here. Huge shout
десятку.
outs to ESA for throwing on this marathon and inviting us all on to, you know,
Да
show
не,
off what
он
we do,
сможет и так. Потому что
what
как
we
бы
love to do, and
сейчас
doing it for
нужно
good
на
cause.
Луну,
So,
на Луне вообще изи скип. Потом босс файт.
there we go. Bowser's Kingdom all done. Had to stack
Думаю,
up
он
some
должен
Goombas.
уложиться.
We're all good. Now, we finally arrive at the final kingdom of the game, and because this is the final kingdom of the game, no moons need to be collected here. We've collected 124. 124 is the, like, we're done now. So Talkatoo has served their purpose. Now it's just about getting to the end of the game and finishing it up the normal way. So. And I do love Moon Kingdom, not gonna lie.
Так, что там у нас?
When your nerves are high and you're on PvP
46,
face and you get to
03,
the Moon
не
Kingdom, it can be a
получилось.
little bit
Ну,
stressful,
окей.
but there's some cool stuff we can show off here, I think.
In fact, even if we wanted for some reason to talk to, he's not actually even here.
Yeah, it doesn't show up until post game. He usually lives up on that cliff up behind the Odyssey. But yeah, he's not here because there are more pressing matters at hand. Believe it or not, we might be talking to a bird
Посмотрим, сделать ли он
and having a good
скип.
time and like
Супер
being goofy
короткий
and stuff, but
продикшн.
also Princess Peach is captured and needs saving.
Скип
So
за Баузера, так и назову.
apparently, so I
Кто
guess we need to
разбирается,
do
так
that.
надо поставить. Он
I guess we need to go
фрейм
save her,
перфект, если
I
что.
suppose.
Несколько прыжков.
So the Moon Kingdom it's a pretty short kingdom. It would be a lot longer if we actually did it properly.
Вряд ли у него
You can see that
получится.
right there, that mouth of the cave
Но,
there.
может быть,
That's the Moon Cave.
это ваш шанс
And
плутать
I
миллионы.
kind of think of it as like the victory road
Чуть-чуть.
of Super Mario Odyssey. It's like
Итак,
the last
тут у
gauntlet
нас
challenge before you finally
легкий
face off
мунскип
against the boss.
называемый,
But found
потому что у
very,
нас
very early
невероятно
in
крутая
Super Mario
гравитация,
Odyssey's like life was this
и мы просто
right here.
забираемся наверх.
This is what we call the Moon Cave skip. And you can kind of just jump right past the cave. Don't have to do any of it. It saves about 3
Он, скорее всего,
minutes.
не сделает этот
So,
скип.
Very cool
I don't
thing
wanna
to find
say-
early.
Но,
I don't want to say for sure. I think it was actually day one.
I'm pretty sure it was day one, yeah.
Yeah.
всегда есть шанс.
Kind of funny. Because they did release a patch, but they didn't fix that, and they definitely knew that it existed at that point.
Yeah, they had to have, right? Because if you just
Like,
do like a certain series of wall jumps, then you're just good, right?
I mean, if they knew the role, because they changed
Наверно,
the
да.
pyramid clip, so if they knew that was a thing, there's no way they didn't know that was the moon cave jump was a thing.
All
I
right.
feel like that was just something that anyone would have known, or anyone would have been able to do.
With just a little bit of patience, for sure, yeah. So we have to fight Bowser one more time, and this fight is very reminiscent of the Cloud fight. I would say that it even is a little bit easier because
Я думаю, он должен
the
уложиться в
phase
ультимейт.
that Bowser does in between the punching phases is
Но,
like this
может
fire
быть, и не
throwing
должен.
phase. It's not very threatening at all. It looks quite threatening, but it's actually more of like a, I guess you could call it like a ground scan. If I just like, I can just roll over it. Like, this fire does not affect me at all. So
How does he do it?
This is
So-
insane.
He's gaming.
Получаем просто заранее урон
Damage
и
boost. Otherwise, this is the exact same fight as the Cloud one. Bowser swipes his tail a
Легко
couple more
получаем.
times to be menacing,
Шлеп.
but you know, just it's going to be the same number of swipes every time. So we kind of know as speedrunners what we're going to do.
победа. Да, лол, он не укладывается.
But you know, we're
Я
talking
думал,
about
что быстрее
discoveries a little
босс-файт
bit.
будет.
None of the discoveries would really be
Но он
what they are
unlucky.
if we didn't have such an incredible community associated with them.
Mhm.
Because Super Mario Odyssey is probably one of like the biggest speedrunning communities and one of the most dedicated, and they're always really just down to help. So if this has inspired you to speedrun Super Mario Odyssey at all, I recommend you check out the Discord. You go to speedrun.com/smo. You join the
Если вы
Discord.
захотели
There's
поспидранить
lots of very cool
этого
resources
Марио,
there to
добро
get you started.
пожаловать в Дискорд Super Mario
Including
Odyssey.
YouTube videos
И
and,
я лично
you know,
тоже
just
рекомендую
people to ask. There's
спидранить
so
именно
many
эту
people
версию
invested in
Мари,
this
потому
game.
что самый последний Марио, который
it's
вышел.
not, like you said, like we
И
said earlier, it's not just speedruns. You can
это
play bingo
отличный
too.
Марио, в
That's
который
also an option. You
интересно
don't have
играть.
to do a
Итак,
full
оп.
game speedrun if you don't want.
Еще разочек.
There's plenty of things you can do with this game.
Оп.
Oh,
И еще разочек.
that was
Oh
a bit
man.
scary.
Yeah, so I'm gonna try a trick here.
Н-
I really,
Сколько
really want
раз?
to get it, so I'm gonna give
Последний
it one
раз.
more go.
Ни разу. Не получилось. Еще раз?
No, I
Окей,
want to
ладно.
land on that second ledge at least. We got
Нет.
some time, I think, right?
Смотрите, он сейчас будет его траить,
Might
пока
be
не
my
сделает.
estimate, actually. We had some bad kingdoms at the beginning,
Ладно.
but
Все.
okay, one more
Все,
try.
иначе
One
он
more try,
дает
and then
слишком
we'll
много
just call it
шансов.
quits.
Все, уходи.
So this here 2D section is kind of the intended way to go through this game, but with some very trickily placed
Не
jumps,
получилось,
which
ну ладно.
is not as easy as it looks clearly.
Это
Um,
сложно, но он
We can
Попытался.
actually just skip the entire 2D section and stay in 3D Bowser the entire time. Saves about 7 seconds if you get it on the first try, but I would go, like, I'd go out on a limb and say that it's probably like the
самый
hardest
сложный
trick
трюк в
in the
игре.
game to do.
Да,
It's the kind
возможно.
of trick that, like,
Слишком
even
много.
80% runners who are like at the most optimal peak of this
Слишком
game are still
много
not
надо,
doing near any percent
чтобы
runs because
получилось.
it can just kill the entire thing. So a very, very hard trick, and I'm kind of sad that I didn't get to show it off. But we are in the final room of the game. There's probably only about a minute left here. We just gotta
Что ж,
use
всем
Bowser's
спасибо, кто
abilities
смотрел.
to
На
knock
этом
down these
спидран
pillars.
заканчивается.
See if I can get
Yeah,
all 5 of my
so-
shots.
There'll be a pylon that gets revealed once the last pillar comes down. Once we shoot out of the pylon, that will be time.
That's right.
На этом спидран Марио
So, yeah,
оканчивается.
just using these fireballs, you can actually a lot of the captures in this game have like a hidden mechanic if you shake the controller.
Подписывайтесь на канал.
To be shooting fireballs. So
Следующий крупный ивент вроде бы как Стримфест. А потом ГДК зимний, судя по всему. Вот. И сейчас последний инпут. Время 1:52:30. Он справился.
Nice.
GG's. That was, I'm not gonna lie, that was a pretty rough and tumble Talkatoo run. Talkatoo was very like, go over here, go over there, go over there, go over there, go over there at the beginning.
Нельзя сказать, что полностью вина лежит на спидранере, что он не успел. Коту тоже постарался зарунить, насколько возможно. Ему аж 3 раза пришлось перемотать время, что как бы украло как минимум 20 или 30 секунд у нас.
And myself, twitch.tv/dangers. If you like Mario speedruns, I've been doing Odyssey and Galaxy, so they're pretty cool. Come check it out. But that's going to be it from us. We got a little bit more marathon going on. I believe 64 blindfolds.
Дальше у нас Марио 64. Без зрительного контакта.
I'm going to be watching for sure. So.
Даже не нужно донатить, чтобы увидеть это.
Well, thank you so much, Dangers. Absolutely. Please, folks, show your appreciation. That was an absolutely fantastic run. Thank you for the amazing commentary as well to Panny and Fur. We've got one last donation for you. We have a $50 anonymous donation without any comment, but thank you so much again. Amazing run. We're going to be right back, folks. Stay with us. We do indeed have Bubsia coming up with Super Mario 64 blindfolded. I'll be handing it over to Huds 601 to Nico Hart. Apologies. For the next run. But thank you so much again, ESA. Keep those donations coming in. Let's get that 60,000. Thank you. Cheerio for now.
Подбадривают нас донатить на просто на марафон, потому что набрав 60 тысяч